All right. All right. Like Matthew McConaughey, most definitely player. Hey, what's up, Soy Two Mains? How are you? How are you? Thank you for joining me tonight. We could do a little video game talk and then go back to enjoying our night, huh? How does that sound? Hopefully, it sounds good to you guys. It's your boy Unlimited Production here. Just back for another video, real quick. And I just so today I'm gonna ask a question. Just have a little thesis going around. And I want to get your guys' input on something. But as I talk about this here, do y'all think do you feel like a second class citizen as an Xbox gamer? I personally sure as hell don't. I'm not one to worry too much. And I do feel like the Xbox community could almost focus a little too much on what they don't have. And pretty much what made me make do this real quick was that, I was just chilling. I saw this tweet from Phil Spencer, and under it, everybody's just bitching and moaning. And I want to talk about it, So here, Phil looks like he's playing a game called Dredge. I'm not familiar with it, but according to the description here on the right, Dredge is a single player fishing adventure. So it looks like it's a game Phil Spencer's playing, right? And I, you know, I think I've come to the conclusion that I think I'm the only person on the planet that likes a nice guy Phil, right? I kind of feel like I'm a lone man on the island here. Him being how he is doesn't bother me. I don't need him to constantly take shots at Sony or PlayStation or the competition. I don't need him to constantly do X, Y, and Z. I understand that this is his vision for Xbox, and it's going to play out however they want. They got a bigger focus on say digital than physical and things like that. But with that said, I could tell that the gaming community isn't as accepting maybe as I am, right? And so yeah, I saw that Phil. He said he was playing Dredge, and then every reply under it was crying about something. And so that I want to get your guys' thoughts. Maybe y'all agree with the comments here. So yeah, um, the first one is you keep ignoring this Xbox Series S and X owners, Redfall, Ghostwire bad optimization. By the way, that's not true. From my understanding, I guess it doesn't run. Listen, I'm playing Ghostwire Tokyo. There's no fucking issues with the game, at least major issues. And here's the thing. This is why this is why stuff like review scores and digital foundry don't matter much to me, because let's be real, when you guys are playing a game, you guys cannot tell the difference between 60 frames per second and 58 fucking frames per second. Okay, you just can't. You guys are not going to zoom in to the tiniest detail, right? And or whatever the case is. Now I don't know what the difference. I don't know difference between the Ghostwire Tokyo on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. I just know what I'm playing. What I'm playing is a fun game, and that's what matters most. And I think that should matter. Okay. Yeah, Redfall 30 frames per second. Yeah, it's going to be an update. I don't know why everybody keeps acting like the game isn't going to, the devs keep saying that is, they said it once, it's going to get a 60 frames per. Okay, but you're upset about that. Whatever. Resident Evil 4 remake downgraded for on Xbox Series X for parity with PlayStation 5. Okay, that one's news to me. So let me see if I can find anything on this claim here. And that sounds like more of a developer problem than an Xbox problem, doesn't it? You guys, how can I say this? Let's see here. Hey, what's up, vodka? Those people must also run a $500 billion division. Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, you're gonna see. Everyone like Phil just put up a video game screenshot. Hey, Jeremy Brown and Dunk Fountain as well, guys. Thank you for joining. Yeah, Phil. So he put this out, and the comments are just complaining. It's just nothing but complaining. Now, uh, did Resident Evil 4 remake get downgraded? I don't fucking know. Um, but yeah, so there's this sense from a lot of Xbox gamers that they feel like they're being treated like second class citizens, if you will. And I don't know. I just don't think I agree with that. Games releasing on every platform, even mobile and Stadia, but not Xbox. Yeah, that's a problem. And here's the thing about all these complaints. What's wrong with Xbox? And you treat us like second class citizens. Yeah, you're gonna see that second class citizen kind of a lot for some reason. But the point is, yeah, some of those situations do suck. And the thing about gaming and any type of entertainment medium, I noticed that Xbox, the community doesn't like to focus on what we have, but always what we don't have. And when that happens, it kind of drives people crazy, right? The Dank Falcon said, "You guys right. Xbox can't win with these people." Yeah, man. Um, and the Xbox community has a habit of, if the isn't come to Xbox, they focus on that and don't focus on the all the good stuff we're getting. And yeah, it does suck when a game doesn't come to Xbox. I'm not that's not what that's not something I'm going to debate. It's not something I'm going to say it is a good thing. No, of course it sucks when it getting up come to Xbox. I just I just understand the constant bitching. Why are you ignoring our concerns? Redfall, Ghostwire, Tokyo, they're not ignoring concerns. It's just that he's the head of Xbox. He's not going to worry about random tweets about some shit digital foundry made, guys. Come on now. All of the issues of this gens are dev problems, bro. Yeah, yeah. Here's the thing. It, uh, if I'm pretty sure, here's the thing. History has shown us when people complain about Xbox has a habit of fixing them. You might be thinking, how do you know this, Unlimited? Well, because people said that they wanted power, they gave us the most powerful console. They said they wanted games, they bought studios. Even when it's causing them criticism, they're still addressing the concerns. So I'm confident they'll address some of these concerns, right? Remember, the Japanese games, Yakuza would never come to the Xbox and stuff like that. We heard it all, right? So to me, you know, uh, it's just crazy that almost every single comment here is just complaining about something. Got none but respect for you, but the platform getting skipped by big publishers. It's not big publishers aren't skipping Xbox, by the way. At worst, you got Square Enix, and we see that Square Enix is constantly in the toilet. As they even said, they literally said at the end of last year how the Japanese only market isn't sustainable, right? No physical release for first and third parties. Yeah, I'd like to see them release physical copies of Hi-Fi Rush, Ghostwire Tokyo. To be honest, Xbox deserves the third place. Please stop being nice to competition because I heard Microsoft saying that it was all something to gaming. Yes, so I think you kind of getting the gist here, man. Oh, this guy actually addressed a comment. I heard great things about this game. We'll check. You see, he's the only one to actually say something. Everybody else, why tons of games are skipping Xbox, and great job treating Xbox consoles like garbage. Now, and that is not now that more people coming in. I do want to ask: do you guys feel like Xbox treats you like garbage? Do you feel like second class citizens as an Xbox owner? Personally, for me, the answer is no. But I love to hear if you guys agree with everybody here. You know what I'm saying? Dark Dank Fountain here said ABK deal going through now to damage control. Time it's damage control time. May 22nd, coming Sony crying more every day. Yep. And I'm glad you brought up the Activision deal because that's actually a great example of them addressing issues. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing: if games are going to keep skipping Xbox, I want Xbox to keep buying studios because we all know that Microsoft can't put guns to the dev's head or publishers head and say release our game on Xbox. But you know what they can do? Keep buying studios, keep buying publishers, build up that Xbox resume, build it up so freaking strongly that Final Fantasy skipping Xbox ain't a big deal. That whatever game is skipping Xbox, I'm pretty sure there's some game that was announced, most likely a Japanese game that's skipping Xbox. I'm not aware of. If that happens, not a big deal, right? And that's how you counteract some of these some of these situations. Yeah. So so far one comment has addressed, has talked about what Philip posted up. Everything else is just asking questions. He's not going to fucking answer, by the way. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to answer these. Non-tethered co-op is the reason for the frame rate. Yeah. And the update is coming after, anyways, soon after launch. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. It's not going to make me not play the game. I could tell you that's for sure. Do you know how difficult it is for me to not play a game I'm excited for? Do you know? I would have to be in either a financial situation where I'm broke and can't buy the game, and thanks to Game Pass, that's not an issue for Xbox games, right? Or something before launch just has to be so insanely terrible that I can't within me play it, right? And that just and again, it's extremely hard to be that bad, right? Resident Evil 4 remake wasn't downgraded. They had some dead zone issues, but aside from that, it's top tier. Okay, thank you, Jeremy Brown. Thank you, because that was one of the complaints I saw. Why are Xbox first party games being treated as second class products? Ghostwire Tokyo performing worse on Xbox than PlayStation. Redfall at 30 frames per second. Oxenfree 2, Octopath Traveler 2, skipping the platform despite getting tongue tied. Despite previous entries having strong presence on Xbox, what is happening? Yeah, you guys got to ask the publisher that. Xbox isn't refusing games. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the publishers are coming to the conclusion with these games, that's on them. Go email whoever's putting out Oxenfree 2. Email Square Enix about Octopath Traveler. Again, the way to counteract that is the result y'all don't like. And by y'all, I don't mean the chat. I mean the gamers who call Microsoft a monopoly and stuff. The solution to game skipping Xbox is buying studios and publishers so that they could own those IPs, and boom, it's guaranteed on Xbox. That's the solution. It's the solution, and it's been proven that you guys don't like it. Excuse me. Shinzo Lee said, "I don't get the constant mention either." Yeah, man. Yeah, even homegirl Sarah Bond isn't immune to it. Here she put out a tweet about the cool Earth Day controller. By the way, I picked it up and it's an awesome controller. And here's one of the quote tweets. Their commitment to this is so strong they're even skipping physical copies of their own game. You know what I'm saying? Just nothing but complaining. Just nothing but complaining. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about listen, I'm a physical. I prefer physical. I have a huge collection of games, right? 80% or more of all video game sales in 2023 are digital. Hell, digital is so prevalent that even on Nintendo, somewhere between 75% of their games are digital, and that's Nintendo. So imagine how lopsided it is on Xbox and PlayStation. I guarantee their numbers show. I'm pretty sure that their numbers show upwards to like 90% in some cases of digital sales for these games. And then to add to that, only it's only a handful of games haven't had a physical release, right? Like Hi-Fi Rush. And I've been saying I would love a physical copy of it, but you can still play it. You can still buy it. You do know that, right? So you still got access to the game. Redfall's getting a physical release. Starfield is, and all this other stuff. Phil Wire first party games like Pentiment, Ghostwire, Tokyo, Hi-Fi Rush, Asia Empire's not getting physical releases. Why are so many third party titles skipping Xbox? You see that I'm questioning that third party thing. I know you guys is going to list some Japanese games or something. But my gut tells me that that's not as correct as they're making it seem. especially when they say big third party games. When I think third party, I think of like Assassin's Creed and Madden and all that. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. All right. All right, Dank Fountain. I told them Ponies Horizon, not next generation. It's a PS4 game with higher graphics. They swear they know it all. Yeah, yeah. Oh, geez. What PlayStation games were PS5 only? I think Returnal was, and I don't know, Demon Souls maybe. You know, the PlayStation isn't exactly swimming in PS5 only games either, and they're supporting the PS5 until like 2026. Why do people think Xbox is actively stopping games? All these pony bots need to stop. Yeah, that's what's funny to me too, Vodka. For some reason, they act like, okay, Xbox is so Octopath Traveler. Hey, you can we put on Xbox? No, you can't. That's how that's how they act like with stuff like this. You know, it's an unfortunate situation. All right, having games skip your platform sucks. It does suck. You know, it really does. And this guy here, he actually bought a physical version of Sifu, the Halo Season One, and Dredge. So this dude, he right up my alley. He right up my alley. So props to you, man. I be buying games too. Uh, what about 60 FPS games? Cheap SSD. What? Hold on. Other companies are making more SSD solutions. Steady AAA. Come on, guys. Guys, Redfall's less than 2 weeks away. Starfield. You know what I'm saying? Starfield and all that. So you know, just listen. Here's the thing. I could meet people halfway on criticism. I guess for me it's just that when I see this and I see all the bitching, like they're bitching to me about stuff that isn't worth the outrage. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's why it bugs me. I guess that's why it bugs me because I look at this stuff and I'm like, dude, Phil's just trying to share what game he's playing. He's not gonna respond to any of these tweets. You know, at most he'll say, "Oh, hey, we hear you" in some random interview later. You know, and let me get back to the chat here. All right, Jeremy Brown. They mad a game isn't coming to Xbox. It's a Netflix game now. Oh, that's right. That Oxenfree game was purchased by Netflix. I completely forgot about that, Jeremy Brown. Now, this is actually that's interesting because do you think Netflix see Xbox as competition? Because, you know, since they're going to be in the cloud gaming space and all that, I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Just out of curiosity, I'm not saying anything definitive. It's just that when he brought up it's a Netflix game, it did remind me of the fact that Netflix did buy the devs that made Oxenfree. So great point there, Jeremy Brown. Let's see. Phil, I sincerely hope you don't follow Andrea anymore. Every day I feel happy I choose the console brand that prioritizes diversity of gameplay rather than things in their franchises. So what? Xbox does release games, and Sony does apparently have a lot of, I don't know, relationships and gay relationships. Oh well. Uh, why is Bethesda treating Xbox like an afterthought? They're not. They're not treating them. Come on, guys. We see that. You see what I mean by the second class citizens thing? Uh yeah. Everybody. It's weird. Timing is always weird because there's a pattern of being doom and gloom when before something big for Xbox. In this case, Redfall is less than 2 weeks away, right? I think about 13, 12 days away, right? We also see this historically, you know, around E3, there's always something that upsets the gaming community. everybody, I've been seeing this one a lot, chat. I'm selling my I'm selling my Xbox. Y'all said that last year before E3. Y'all said that before you know what I'm saying? How many Xboxes do these people have to sell? You don't have to please the haters to succeed. Xbox is doing great things for us gamers. Yeah, just the other day, actually yesterday, they released their second half of games coming to Game Pass for April, late April. So I see Blaze Blue, Coffee Talk, Redfall. That's made second technically. The last Curious Case of Benedict Fox. That's exclusive, timed or not, is going to be associated with Xbox. Let's not forget Ravenlock, May 4th, day one on Game Pass as well. And as of now, it's only on Xbox, the Xbox consoles and PC. Is that being a second class citizen to get 3 exclusives within the next 2 weeks? Really? And this is what I mean here when I say things like Xbox gamers, they don't usually pay attention what we have, only what we don't. And as a result, I think a lot of gamers kind of miss out on the positives of Xbox because of this. I really truly believe that, because I'm yeah. And here's the thing: I could meet the detractors and people who are negative and all that stuff on the middle ground. Yes, it sucks that games skip Xbox. I'm with you, but it's not so extreme. It's not like you don't have nothing to play on Xbox, especially if you're on Game Pass. If you're on Game Pass, you really shouldn't be complaining, because you got like 500 games at your disposal. And I find it hard to believe, of all the 500 games, you don't want to play none of them. None of them? Really? Ghostwire Tokyo just hit a few days ago. It's a dope game. I can tell you your boy Unlimited's been playing it. I can tell you that for damn sure. Xbox the best after PC and Nintendo. No cap. Sony dead last with remix movies. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, Xbox is the best. Hey, Hebot, how are you?
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you, man. I can hear you.
What's up, brother?
Hey, man, nothing much. So, I guess I'll catch you up on things since you stopped in, and also thank you for stopping by on this Thursday night? No, Wednesday night. Yeah, man. So I was just chilling, man. I saw Phil put out this tweet about this game Dredge, and then you scroll down, everybody complaining about something.
What's the game they tweeted?
It's this game called Dredge. I'm not familiar with it, but he's been playing it and looks like he's enjoying it. And every comment except for like 2 have been complaining, right? This one was really funny to me. You shouldn't follow this Andrea lady anymore, because she happy that games, Xbox made games that has different gameplay over the, the relationship stuff Sony games doing. But yeah, and as I was saying, before I hand the mic over to you, Hebot, in chat, I will get to y'all as well. Don't worry. This is one of them shows I'm going to get to every comment, guys. So keep commenting, guys. You guys are on fire. But yeah, to catch you up, Hebot. So I'm saying, look, I could meet you guys halfway. Yeah, it sucks that games don't come to Xbox. My thing is that's a publisher issue, because I know for damn well a game isn't coming to Xbox and they're like, no, Expat Traveler, nope. Oh man, why isn't what? It's your fault. Xbox is not coming. And the second thing I'm saying is that, and this is something that you said a million times, so let me give credit where it's due. A lot of times the Xbox fandom, they focus too much on what we don't have and not enough on what we do.
That's a fact. Yeah.
And Minecraft Legends just hit Game Pass yesterday. On the 27th, on the 27th, you got the Blaze Blue fighting game and the exclusive Last Case of Fox. Redfall May 2nd. Ravenlock, another exclusive, May 4th. So within the 2-week window, Hebot, we've got 3 exclusives in the next 2 weeks, and you want me to be upset about Oxenfree not coming to Xbox? I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'd like to get your thoughts, because again, I get it. I do get it. I want a physical copy of Hi-Fi Rush in my collection, but I can still play it. So when it comes, it comes. And don't tell me it's not going to come, because Psychonauts 2 is physical now. The Medium's physical now. Cuphead is physical now.
Yeah.
So they make physical games. It's just that the smaller ones, they clearly just take their time releasing it. So I'm gonna pass the mic over to you, Hebot. What are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on X? Like at this point, I don't see why Xbox executives should interact with gamers anymore. If every single time they do, they're just gonna get bitched at.
Well, I mean, they're just trying to find any window they get to try to, act as if they care for the brand, but in reality, by their very own actions, they show they don't care, right? Because you pointed out something absolutely correct. We have gotten a plethora of games nonstop since September, I believe, right?
Yep.
All the way from things like Scorn, right? To High on Life, Hi-Fi Rush, Atomic Heart, Plague's Tales Requiem, right?
Yeah.
Now we're getting stuff like Ravenlock, Guilty Gear, right? The new Blaze Blue battle tag team, Benedict Fox, right? And a lot of these games are games that are exclusive to Xbox that you can't even play, right?
Yep.
On PlayStation. Yes, they may be third party, but they're still exclusive to Xbox, right?
Yep.
Because when Sifu was exclusive to PlayStation, they acted like it was the greatest thing since Jesus. Now Sifu is on Xbox, and there's nobody talking, right?
Yeah, no fanfare, nothing.
Nobody's talking, right? Why? Because it's no longer a game they can play in the narrative box of, but it's exclusive to PlayStation, the greatest console of all times, right? Same thing like Kena. Kena was promised that it would come to other platforms later on as long as it did well. It hasn't. And more than likely, it's because Kena didn't sell well. Right? So when they don't sell well and they put it on PlayStation first, or let's say even Nintendo first, right? And put it like this, even if they put it on Xbox first, right? And if it doesn't sell well, they're not able to bring it out or bring out another version to, let's say, PlayStation or Nintendo.
Right.
Because they didn't make enough revenue, right?
Right.
If you don't make enough revenue as an independent small developer, you're not going to have money to be able to extend that game's life on other platforms because you have to build it for those platforms. You see what I'm saying?
And let me add to that. That applies to games that don't have any type of contract. Like the Gunk. The devs of the Gunk said this is a lifetime Xbox exclusive. So don't expect it on PlayStation or Switch.
Absolutely, another
changes,
game.
Right? So I point that out because again, I keep hearing this. I feel Xbox gamers get treated like second class citizens, and I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it, guys.
No. We're definitely not. We're definitely not.
Yeah, guys, listen. Go check out Hebot's channel. He just did gameplay of a new indie game. It looks awesome.
Yeah, Hyper 5, right?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah. Go. Hell, the other day I just did a video about my pickups for this month.
I saw it.
Every game was on Xbox, by the way. So for you, I'm sorry, guys. This whole second class citizen Hebot, it's not registering in my brain because, as far as I'm concerned, I look at the games I have installed on Xbox. I currently have 32 games. I'm sorry, 34 games installed on my Xbox. I ain't being on 34 of them realistically. Right. No, I'm trying to finish Ghostwire
or
Tokyo.
at least no time soon. Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to finish Ghostwire Tokyo before Redfall drops. I'm trying to finish Wanted Dead. And all this other stuff. So maybe you feel differently. Maybe you feel like a second class citizen, and I'm just being a delusional fan.
I mean, no, you're right. You're right, because how are we getting treated as second class citizens when we got a plethora of games coming out weekly now? New and old of all types of genre on Game Pass. You don't have that on PlayStation. PlayStation gives you one or two new games maybe that they add on to PS Plus a month or every other month, right? And most of the time it's games that we already been either have on Game Pass or that we've been played somewhere else first on Xbox, right?
Right.
And then these guys try to act like, oh yeah, we're getting this month. Like when they did the Hot Wheel games, that we've been had it on Game Pass, and then they
Yeah,
finally got it,
yeah.
and they were broke. Oh yeah, we got the Hot Wheel games, while you got some other bullshit on Xbox Live. When Xbox Live is an addition, it's like a cherry on top to Game Pass. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't even correlate because the comparison is just stupid. Because we're not only getting Game Pass, we're still getting games on Xbox Live, right? Do the monthly subscription of just Xbox Live alone, and you still get some new games, right?
Yep.
And the thing is like I saw and I heard about what our brother Zane got into an argument with TK9, right? On 100's
Oh
podcast.
yeah, 100 show.
Right, because he was arguing about him celebrating Phil bringing games on Game Pass to like 92 other countries, right? And what I don't understand is these guys think that when Xbox does that they're trying to devalue the console, right?
No.
What they don't understand, right? Phil just got ahead of Nintendo and Sony by doing that, because these 92 countries are probably, and a lot of times, are countries that is very expensive to ship consoles to.
Wait,
right?
And same with physical games. Just want to point that out.
Same thing with physical. That's too expensive. So what they're doing is they want you to play Xbox games on their ecosystem, because Xbox is not only hardware. Xbox is a brand, right? So by him putting this Xbox Game Pass on PC, where everybody in the world has PCs on Xbox Game Pass, that means more people can play Xbox games. They make more revenue, and we as a gamers on Xbox and their ecosystem get more games.
Right, and here's a take. Microsoft has said for years, Phil Spencer specifically, they want to reach 2 billion gamers. I'm sorry, you're not going to reach 2 billion gamers with only the console.
Absolutely. That's a fact. That is a fact. That's why they're trying to get into the market of the tablet, the phone. That's why they also want to buy companies like Activision, because of the fact that Activision has a big mobile space, right? With Candy Crush and other stuff, right? So they know this. Microsoft's goal is to continue to make games on all platforms through their ecosystem and make money to continue to make more games and acquire more studios. That is a plus for Xbox gamers. Now, does it suck, like you say, when Xbox get no games or certain games, right? Absolutely. But Oxenfree, go ahead.
No, yeah, and I want to point out something. Their solution to game skipping Xbox, you know what it was, right? It was buying all the studios and publishers. And
absolutely, that's why they started doing that.
And they hate them for it. So
right.
So you're upset that games skip Xbox, which I'm telling you guys right now, Microsoft is not turning down Oxenfree 2 or Octopath Traveler 2. It's not. So it's not. It wasn't even a decision that they made. So email Square Enix about Octopath Traveler 2. Email Netflix.
Absolutely, 100%. And you know what happens when you do that? Because I've done it. I tagged the publishers and the developers, and what happens 90% of the time, or 95% of the time, they don't say shit. They stay quiet. They don't answer back. And the reason why they don't answer back is because they know it's their internal decision. It wasn't an Xbox thing. Because what these guys don't get is, for example, Octopath Traveler came out on Xbox and it came out on Game Pass, right?
Yep.
And it did a good amount of numbers. It sold well. Somebody had put it up the other day on Twitter. I saw it. Did very well. In a matter of like 10 to 15 weeks, I think it was.
Wow.
It's been out 52 weeks, part 2, on PlayStation and Nintendo. And they haven't mentioned nothing about game numbers and sales.
Yeah, well, knowing Square Enix, it didn't meet expectations.
With the sequel, right? Yeah. Because that was a Square Enix decision. They're like, okay, we brought it out there. Now let's bring it out first here, because these are the leading platforms. Because again, they're still with that mentality that because it's a leading platform, that means it's going to sell more there first. And that has been shut down already a numerous amount of times. That's not how it works anymore.
Right.
Okay.
And one of our commenters I call him Terrence Howard, but Terrence Spencer. I don't know if he's in the chat yet, but I know he likes when I talk about Square Enix. Yeah, Terrence, if you're in the chat, hey, that Octopath Traveler, that's on Square Enix. So when Square Enix says that it didn't meet sales expectations, that's their fault. Because remember, about late last year they said that the Japanese market isn't sustainable anymore. They need to go global.
Jesus Christ. Square Enix came out themselves and said that every deal they've done with Sony has not panned out to in their favor as far as making money.
Yep.
They said it themselves.
Yep, and yet they're still doing it, and I get
And
it.
they're still doing it, right?
Some of the games are contractual obligations, but
But more than likely, right?
Here's where I call bullshit. We know that at one point in time, Final Fantasy VII remake was supposed to come to Xbox. 3 years later, it's not even being mentioned in any shape or form. So something's going on there, right? I'm not being a conspiracy theorist here. It's just that the information that we have, you know that they're still, for even though they say one thing, they're still making a decision over at Square that's not making the best results for them.
Right. Well, again, like I said, a lot of that stuff has to be, like you said, based off contractual obligations. They probably got a contractual obligation where they made a deal with Sony that all of their games are going to come out first on the PS5 or PS4 for the next 10 years, and then they can go to another console.
Right.
That's probably what they did, right? Because they've been doing that with Sony forever, because Sony used to hold 19% shares of their company.
That's right.
Until I think, when was it that year where all the Final Fantasies came out on Game Pass? All the first ones, remember?
Yeah. And
that year, that contract was over, right? And they were finally able to bring other stuff like, the Kingdom Hearts series to Xbox, right? And people seem to forget and play like they're dumb or don't remember this being said.
Mm-hmm.
And they spoke about it, right? But then again, here goes Square Enix once again, because Sony, they always want to have that presence of those older Japanese titles like Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts on their side to make it seem like, oh, they've always been part of the PlayStation family. They've always been part of PlayStation first, when that's bullshit, because those games, most of Square Enix, when they were called Squaresoft, started on Nintendo.
Right.
And once Nintendo couldn't pay them the amount of money that Sony was paying them when the PS1 came out, they bounced. They left.
Yep.
Because Nintendo could not match the numbers that Sony was paying out, because they were a multi-billion-dollar company way back when.
Yeah.
Understand? And
Yep.
that's what people don't understand. Sega nor Nintendo was able to compete with the purse that Sony had. So they started to buy out all these developers so they can have the games on their platform either first or exclusively, and they took the purse, because no gaming developers were getting paid that type of money at that time from Sega and Nintendo, because Sega and Nintendo were not multi-billion-dollar companies.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were popular, but they weren't billion-dollar companies. No developer was seeing that type of money.
Right.
Especially up front, because that's what they were doing. They were paying them up front for the exclusivity. And so that's what started to change the cycle. And that's why you saw so many games on PlayStation 1, on PlayStation 2, and even on PlayStation 3. And now we're so many years later, like 4 generations later, that they still try to pull this bullshit now on PS4 and the PS5. But the difference is that Microsoft outweighs anything they can do. Right? So what they do is they go to them first to beat them out in a deal and give them these prostitute deals. They take it, and then Microsoft can't do nothing about it because it's already done. Once a contract is done, Microsoft can't go and cut their throat. That's not how that works.
Right.
Because Sony can sue them for whatever it is that they paid them and more. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So developers aren't stupid. They're not going to take the lawsuit. It's just common sense. That's business 101. So again, they don't understand. More than likely, Octopath Traveler. So they're like, okay, let's put it on PlayStation first, on the Nintendo, because those are the leading platforms. These games are big in Japan. Japanese players ain't even playing these games anymore.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. They've expanded their horizon, and they're playing other things as well. Dude, the biggest games are what? Minecraft, right? Apex, GTA, Fortnite. It was PUBG at one point as well. I don't know how well it's still doing. Warcraft, not Warcraft. What's his name? The one that from the guys that did Dark Sector. Oh my God, Warframe.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
Right,
That's right.
Warframe. Those are the biggest games that keep making money, keep getting played because they have that type of gaming following that they like to play games that continue to add stuff on as it goes on, and they don't go out and buy other games. And
Hmm.
that's why the sales of games don't match. The reason why Game Pass is having so much success with these games is because people are being able to play them without any compromise as far or without any commitments of buying it up front and then feeling like they were robbed or they didn't get their money's worth. So the guys play the gamers are playing these games first. They see that it's good and then they go out and buy it.
Yep.
Even with MLB still when it comes out on the Xbox, even though it's a Nintendo studio, I mean a Sony
Sony.
studio developed game, it's still number one. And as far as them buying, even when it goes on Game Pass, because they play it, if they see they like it, they buy it. On PlayStation, you don't have those options, and neither Nintendo. You don't have no squeeze play options. You don't have no room for a little leniency. Nothing. It's either you buy the game day one for $70 or
Hmm.
$60, or you don't.
Right. And everything you said is exactly why I don't get why I keep hearing saying Xbox treats us like second class citizens. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
People should feel the way Japan feels about Sony. Sony seems to be over Japan, right? So
Mm-hmm.
and that's a region that feels like second class citizens because Sony isn't making the games they want. Xbox is making the games we
The
want.
reason why these people are saying it, especially if they're Xbox people, is because it's like you said. They're worried. They're more worried still about getting games that are very heavy on cutscenes
Hmm.
or that only have a lot of nothing but graphics but no substance. That's all they're worrying about.
Right.
They're not worrying about actually playing games that are good. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're real, just for the fact that they're a good video game. They're worried about I want to get games with all this mocap, all this photorealistic shit. Because again,
And we got
PlayStation,
that coming. It's called Hellblade 2.
right, and we had it before too, and we got a little switch
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
can't tell
It's called
me
Quantum
that
Break.
you play a game like
Quantum Break.
fucking no, not only that, like fucking Plague Tale's Requiem.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
that's right.
fantastic. And we're
Yeah.
playing it on Game Pass. We didn't have to buy it day one, $70.
Yep.
Same thing like Atomic Heart. Atomic Heart looks photorealistic.
Yep.
Shit, high on life. It looks like a Disney Pixar movie.
Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Very
These
well
are
done.
high quality games with high quality graphics.
Yep.
You see?
All on Xbox, some of which are exclusive, by the way.
Exactly.
For all the people that okay, exclusive to is the reason you bought the console, people. You got guys, why you guys keep sitting here like Hi-Fi Rush wasn't the biggest third party release in Xbox. You can't play it on PlayStation
Hmm.
at the moment. Last curious case of Benedict Fox. You're not going to be able to play that on
Another
PlayStation
beautiful
on
2D
April.
animated game with
Yeah.
beautiful graphics that you could
Yep.
tell they put money into it. Same thing
My
like the
game.
Gunk.
My
When you
game.
put
My game right here. May 4th.
Everlock looks incredible. Absolutely.
It looks unbelievable with that art style, and it's made for the
Hmm.
people. Echo Generation, a game that I mind you came to Game Pass and did well.
Hmm. Well, look at Gunk, like you said earlier. The Gunk is still exclusive,
Yeah,
but you don't
and
see
it's been
people
2 years.
talking and playing it.
And it's
They
been
don't
2 years.
play it. They don't play it.
Yeah,
And I blame the Gunk. It was a very good game. Was it
yep.
simple? Yeah. Was it fun? Yes. It was short, sweet, to the point. Nice game.
Yeah,
Beautiful graphics.
and
Go ahead.
Xbox needs games like that because every game doesn't need to be Redfall.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need the Hi-Fi Rushes sprinkled in between our
High
Redfalls
Fire is
and
another one.
Starfields.
High Fire is another one. Beautiful fucking game. Action. It has a bunch of different gameplay styles
Yep.
in the game. Stupid fun. Great gameplay. Great animation. Good story. Funny. adult theme, everything. Oh, it don't look photorealistic. It doesn't need to.
Yeah.
If the game is good, that's all that matters. Oh, we didn't buy consoles just to play. Motherfuckers, not even PC gamers
You
are
didn't.
paying $5,000 to play only photorealistic games.
Yeah. You didn't buy it, but hell, so Hi-Fi Rush, my kind of game, fast-paced hack and
Absolutely.
slash style gameplay. Oh, sign me the fuck up. Gorgeous art
Tell,
style.
tell me,
Like,
Unlimited.
like, what's up?
Tell me this: how many people have you seen that were promoting that they play Solstice? How many
Oh,
people did you see that they said they're playing No More Heroes 3 when it was first on Nintendo Switch and now it's on Xbox?
yeah.
How many people you seen?
I got it when it came to Xbox. That's a fun
Right,
game.
I got it for Nintendo, then traded the Nintendo and got the Xbox version. Tell me who you seen promote Evil West? Huh? The games are on Xbox, and you don't see the Xbox community
Mm-hmm.
with just a selected, maybe few, actually playing those games.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if those games only came to PlayStation,
Oh, if they go
everybody
to
would be like, "Oh, that
PlayStation,
game's amazing." You
yeah.
don't got Solstice. You don't got Evil West. Go ahead.
Or they'll either do that, or if it was on Xbox first, then went to PlayStation, they'll bitch. Oh, Xbox, why did you let it go to Sony? You're right.
Right.
That's their two options.
Or the two narratives that they try to pull every time, or they'll be, or like if it went to Xbox, like Sony, they only go to Sony because they know that's where the game sells, or where people play games. Even though they already came out and said themselves, developers came out and said themselves that their games don't sell on PlayStation,
Right.
and we see the numbers.
Yeah.
With the exception of maybe some of their big AAAs like Uncharted or Last of Us, their games don't sell. Okay, and the only reason something like Spider-Man sold was because as soon as it became exclusive only to the PlayStation Store, the narrative was, "Oh, it's amazing because it's a PlayStation exclusive." When we've had great Spider-Man games, forever.
Yeah, and that's something I tell people. Listen, you're talking to somebody who enjoys Spider-Man on PlayStation 4. I thought it was a fun game, but my thing has always been, don't sit here and tell me that games like Shattered Dimensions wasn't awesome.
Right.
Don't sit here and tell me that Spider-Man Edge of Time wasn't really fun.
Right.
You know, Shattered Dimensions was my personal favorite because that's the one that had the 4 different Spider-Men. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You had the North
and that's the one that had the best combat. The combat in that game was fucking incredible.
I still remember the Deadpool level in that game. The Noir Spider-Man were used, that one, those missions were usually more stealth-like, very creative game, right?
Well, that's why go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, finish what you're saying.
No, and I was saying in chat, I'm going to get to you guys shortly, so keep commenting. But yeah, but as I was saying, that what I don't like is, I don't like that idea that when something hits Sony, then all of a sudden it's good. I think something is good based off its merits. And if you guys want me to pull out my superhero games, I will. I pretty much own all these games I'm talking about, or have owned them at some point.
So do I. From fucking Green Lantern that was in 3D and it was co-op, all the way to Thor, the Iron Man 1 and 2, the Hulk, Captain America, which was a fantastic game, overlooked. Punisher 1, that was on OG.
Awesome.
I
hope you still have your copy. I was looking for that game. It's expensive now. Punisher.
Yeah. I still have it. Yeah. You can play it on the 360, but you can't play it on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but I still have it. I still have it. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead and finish because
what I was going to say was too. The other thing is that's why I've always tell people the best Spider-Man game out there is Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Not because it shines in every aspect, but it's because it's the one that has everything that you need in the game included in the game, from good gameplay mechanics, good fighting mechanics, good story, good replay value, good challenges, good side missions, the incredible boss fights. Like the boss fights in Amazing Spider-Man 1 shits on anything that you played in Miles Morales, shits on anything that you play on the Spider-Man 4. Or it doesn't even come close.
Right.
Doesn't even come close.
And
Doesn't even come close.
Yeah, in chat, Hebot is not bullshitting you. Hebot once posted this awesome clip he did of playing the Amazing Spider-Man, and you did like this awesome 40 hit combo, and you were throwing the garbage can at him and all this stuff.
A bunch of shit, right?
Yeah, it was awesome, man. And you know, somebody's trying to debate you on it, and I remember you put up that gameplay. It blew me away.
Because they were trying to say that it wasn't as good, and then as soon as I did that, they went into like quiet mode. They stood quiet.
Yeah.
I was like, don't tell me, bro, because the only reason I can talk about it is because I played it from experience. I'm not gonna open my fucking mouth and debate something unless I played it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it doesn't make any sense for me to do that.
Yep.
And then when I see these guys, Amazing Spider-Man is fantastic for PlayStation. You're the greatest Spider-Man of all time. How you figure? Why? And they'll go, look at the graphics. Okay. Graphics? It's supposed to look good. It's a next generation game.
Yeah.
Okay. The story. I was like, do you realize that Stan Lee was playing the homage and the tribute that they did for Stan Lee in Amazing Spider-Man 2? You run circles around the one they did in the Spider-Man PS4.
And Amazing Spider-Man 2, he was the comic shop owner.
Exactly. And every time you went in there, he talked to you about every new comic you found. And he gave Peter advice. Like he was his like he was Uncle Ben.
Yeah, right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And he was in the end, and he voiced that over. And in Amazing Spider-Man in Spider-Man for PlayStation 4, he's in one scene when they're in the restaurant when he's speaking to Mary Jane, and he says something as they're leaving. That's it.
And
I'm like,
I don't even remember that scene.
And people post, "Oh my God, this is incredible!" Like, dude, you never played any other game. Because if you did, you would know, okay, that everything that Insomniac did in the Spider-Man game, the ideas and that they did and implemented in that game were all from from Beanox.
And by the way, Beanox is owned by who? Hebot?
Activision.
Bingo. And people wonder why I'm excited for more than Call of Duty with Activision.
Yeah, like they own the other guys that did remember the vampire western Dark Watch?
Dark Watch, right?
Yeah. Remember that game? That it was like a vampire first person shooter in the West?
That was a late OG Xbox
they own
game.
that developer as well. They own a lot of good developers that stopped letting them do games to concentrate only and solely on Call of Duties.
Yeah, and I can't wait till that's reversed.
That's why Call of Duty games have so great, some amazing, cinematic story modes. Yeah, because these guys have talent.
Yeah, and for the record, chat, I'm not a Call of Duty fan, so
no, me neither. Really not like that. I used to be, but not no more.
Yeah.
Like I can't, and not because they're bad. I just kind of got burnt out. Like Call of Duty. Every single goddamn year. It's like, bro, I got tired of it. I'm like, forget. It's like, and I'll be honest with you, it's like if Microsoft did Halo every year or Gears of War every year, I would probably get tired of it. I don't care anymore.
My favorite series is Assassin's Creed, and one of the best decisions they made was that after Assassin's Creed Syndicate was a great game. Don't get me wrong, but that game unfortunately sold half of Unity the year before, so they stopped bringing them out every year. And now it's been 3 years since Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm dying for Mirage now because I had time to miss it. But let me address this comment here. This guy,
absolutely,
he said, Xbox fans. And he used fans in quotation marks, must be the most childish, emotionally unstable babies in all of gaming. Microsoft is practically giving new games for free
every year, every week,
cloud, starting at only $10 a month, and all they could do is whine about
that's a fact. BS
and regurgitated PlayStation fanboy doom and gloom talking board. And then he used examples. These games are all 2023 games. Some of them have released, some of them about to release. Look at this. Imagine being mad that these games are on Game Pass, no extra cost. Dude, for all the Metacritic babies, I like this one a lot. Because
that's like, imagine me and you complaining, and yet we had 10 women that we're dating, and they're all okay with it, and we're getting 10 different pussies every time.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
Like what? Are you retarded?
Look at this image, man. This is
that's a beautiful. So what you call that? when they make a whole
Yeah, collage an
mural or
image.
mural. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful mural collage of games of the games. That's beautiful.
It is, and this is why I like doing podcasts like this, because I like to talk the Xbox fans who come there, who might have saw this, who might have got a little riled up. I like to tell you guys guys, relax. Xbox is fine. Look at what's on screen. You play all this Game Pass, $10 to $15 a month. You're good. You're good. All right, now let me get back to the chat here. Jeremy Brown said, "Get this, Unlimited. Fonz, and I hope he was joking, believes
Oh
Xbox
God, you
hasn't
talking
released
about
a good
Fonzarelli?
hasn't released a game as good as
Jesus
Days Gone."
Christ.
Yeah, that's absurd. That's
Jesus
absurd.
Christ. Yeah, a
Uh,
game as good as Days Gone, that in the very beginning of the game, he does the most unrealistic thing that
mhm.
anybody would do in real life.
Oh, what do you
Okay?
do?
Okay. There's a fucking pandemic where people are breaking out and turning into sick zombies, right? He stays with his brother-in-law instead of going with his wife to help his brother-in-law.
Oh yeah. That'll never happen.
In real life, you
Yeah,
ain't going with nobody but your wife and
right.
kids.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Not your
That's
fucking
nonsense.
brother-in-law. And then to add insult to injury, time passes by. He finally finds his fucking wife, and yeah, I'm spoiling it. I don't give a fuck. Because I played the game, right?
Yeah,
He
and
goes and fucking finds his wife, and his wife is acting like she didn't even know who the fuck he is.
was she had amnesia or something?
Because she's afraid, because she's been with this group of people and fucking this new dude this
Oh,
entire time.
oh,
So
Jesus.
she's trying to play it off like she don't remember him. And it was only been a span of like 3-4 years. I'm like, my nigga, are you serious?
Yeah. That
Like, you
is
know how
absurd.
dumb that even sounds
Yeah.
and stupid? We're talking about adults here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's different if she had a case where she got sick and got amnesia. Okay, fine. At least it makes it somewhat believable, right?
Mhm.
But no. Oh, I don't remember you. I don't. What? And he's
Yeah.
like, baby, but you're my wife. Like, what the fuck? And it's all because she was strung up with this new dude that she hooked up with in this new village that they formed together.
Oh, gotcha.
You see
Yeah,
what I'm trying to say?
that sounds like a convoluted soap opera video game.
Well, it's just as bad as fucking Kratos having a son, right?
Hmm.
Right? Or having
Yeah,
a new family, and they completely disregard that the whole reason why his fucking skin and he looks the way he looks is because he's carrying the fucking ashes of his original first family that he killed himself because the fucking gods tricked him into doing it.
right.
Okay, which is bullshit because that's where his rage came from. And then in the new game, he's like, "Son, you gotta
Vi-
learn how to hold
violent.
back your rage.
Yeah,
You can't be mad. It's not gonna get you nowhere. You're not like what? You're fighting demons, gargoyles, trolls, and you think you're gonna be able to talk and compromise? Like, hey, troll, wait, hold up, let's talk. Don't fight. It's a monster.
right. Yeah,
It has no reasoning. How you going to talk to it? That's why I said that God of War is the gayest fucking game they've ever made.
Nah, man. You didn't see that Horizon DLC or the Last of
Oh
Us.
my God, that was great. I was in love with that shit today. That was great. I was like, officially today, the PlayStation has turned into the gay station. There's no more arguing.
Gay section.
There's no more
Jesus.
arguing. Horizon got gay stuff. Last of Us got gay stuff. Fucking Days Gone had some gay shit in it as well. Fucking what the fuck was the other one? And even Kratos. Remember when fucking what's his name, David Jaffe tried to say he was bisexual, and then when he got the slack, he tried to retract the shit.
Mhm.
They're like, oh no, you took what I said out of context. I got that shit screenshot still.
Oh
When he
Lord.
said that shit,
Yeah.
he said that Kratos is supposed to be gay or bisexual. Like, get
Right.
out. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out my face with that shit. You know they're pandering to what the fuck is going on now with the narrative of gay people, inclusivity, transgenderism, and all that stupid shit. When that stuff that's been involved in games before, but done the right way, respectfully, and not forced down your fucking throat. Because it's an agenda, it's a narrative. And video games are not supposed to be about politics, gender identity, or any of that shit. It's supposed to be about having fun and escaping. Having good music, having a good story, having good voiceover, that's all icing on the cake. But it's all about having fun,
Yeah.
interacting with a world to have fun and escape. That's what video gaming has always been
Yeah,
about.
and that's why I like Xbox games because the Sony games are just they're just for me. Jeremy Brown
Dude,
here,
like,
Fonz. What was that?
no, I'm saying, like, dude, why?
Oh,
Why push that shit?
yeah. It's one of them sign at a time thing. But Jeremy Brown here, yes, Fonz and D Batch were saying PS5 multi-platform better. That's objectively not true. The few listen. The only reason why the few games that run better on PlayStation get talked so much is because it's console war fuel to say Xbox. Look, your console ain't that powerful. When
Mhm.
somebody on Xbox, nobody talks about it. So that
Also, the other reason why, buddy,
uh-huh,
like we've talked about this before, is a lot of those games are what you call it. They got like marketing rights or marketing deals,
uh-huh.
like Callisto Protocol. The team that was doing that had to they had to get help, right? So they
Right.
told Sony to help them with the mocap and the story because they wanted to get that photorealistic look, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Sony brought in like 150 employers to help them with the game. They're in the credits, the Sony
Oh, okay.
division. And you really think that Sony's going to do that, help them out, and then they're going to allow them to make the game better on Xbox? They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is why you see these indifferences with these games.
Yeah.
Now, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, continue.
No, what I was going to say. Now I know people are like, but what about Ghostwire Tokyo? Look, these people always look at these digital foundry fake ass videos
Mhm,
where they talk about certain things and push certain things, but they're not really concentrating on the whole picture. For example, the whole thing with Red Falls, right? Where
mhm.
everybody's concentrating that it doesn't have a 60 frame mode, but on PC it will, right? When the PC, they're allowed to change all the settings because each PC is different. They're built differently
Yeah.
because they have different graphic cards, different sound cards, different engines, different memory, different dedicated RAM. So they allow the PC players to do whatever they can with the switches because some computers are more capable than others.
Hmm.
And they're not going to know and they're not going to be able to optimize for millions and billions of PCs in the world because everybody has a different setup.
Right.
So that's why they're allowed to use the switchboard, right?
Right.
On console, it's the same hardware for everybody. So they're going to do it based off the hardware that everybody has. They're going to optimize it the best based on that hardware. That is why they don't do that, right? But
Right.
as of late, they give us a quality mode and they give us a performance mode. Everybody wants to talk about the 60 frames, but they're not talking about how the game is going to run 4K. They're not want to talk about how the game has ray tracing,
Ray
how it has
tracing, DS.
the untethered co-op in an open world setting,
Yep.
how it has a single player and online component,
Yep.
how the game will support HDR Dolby Vision because all Xbox games do,
Hmm.
how, especially the first party, how it supports Dolby Atmos surround because all first party Xbox games do. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
want to talk about
Yeah.
all those other bells and whistles, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And they're just focusing on the one
On the
negative.
frames, even though,
That.
like you said earlier, they still promise that they'll get the 60 frames also.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and that's why podcasts like this, Hebot. I'm only talking to Xbox fans. I ain't talking to the people that's gonna hate no matter what when I say stuff like this.
Right, right, right.
Like guys, look on your screen. How many times have Metacritic been thrown in your face, Xbox fans? Well, look, all these Game Pass games are first party and have high Metacritic scores. You
Yeah,
could
yeah.
save this
It's
one right here, image right here, so you could throw it in their face when they try to say Game Pass don't have quality games.
but the thing is that like real Xbox fans, we don't even pay attention to Metacritic.
No, oh hell no.
You know what I'm
Listen,
trying to say?
I've been saying for years I don't give a fuck about reviews. I don't read them. I don't
When
watch
we
them. None
argue
of that
about a
stuff.
game being good, we never say, "Oh, look at the Metacritic score." You
Yeah,
never hear that shit. You never hear that shit. The only time you hear that shit is when it's a PlayStation game, or you hear it when it's a. Hold on a second.
or Xbox game got under 80%. And while Hebot stepping away, let's get back to the chat here. He said those dudes don't play for fun. They just want to say they're getting whatever specs they want. Yeah. Dank Fountain Game Pass Plus, buying games makes me love Xbox more. I have a choice, multiple games for everywhere. It's the buffet of gaming. Yep, exactly,
Can
exactly,
you hear
man.
me, brother?
Okay, hey, yeah. You're back now. What's up?
Yeah. No, my son called me that he's out of work, so I'm gonna go
Oh,
get him, but I can stay on because I'm going to the car. So the
all right,
point that I
cool.
was trying to say is, you'll never hear us say, "Oh, look at the Metacritic." No, you only hear that shit when it's a PlayStation game or when it's a Nintendo person arguing about their Nintendo game. Look at the
Yeah,
Metacritic score. That's the only thing you hear from
yeah,
them.
yeah.
And
Of
we've
course.
always,
And I've said it a million times, Hebot. People don't even read or watch the reviews. They literally
Mhm.
just scroll down to the final score and base their opinion 100% on that. The reviews could say shit like, oh, the game wasn't that fun, but had good graphics, but I'm giving it a 10 anyway.
Right,
They don't care
right.
about
Well,
that
if you
part.
look at when they score or review Xbox games, you'll literally see that they said it's a zero. The game sucks because Xbox games always suck. It'll say literally something like that.
Yeah, one reviewer for Hi-Fi Rush had a crazy take in the lines of I can't give it higher because Xbox didn't have first party games in 2022 or something like
hmm
that. It was something so stupid that has nothing to do
And
with the
some
narrative
retarded
at
shit.
all.
Yeah. And the reason why is because they let these people register, and if they have enough viewership on
Mhm.
their channel or on their website, they allow them to get the badge to be able to review, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that because they got a batch to review that they're going to be honest and that they're going to be that their actual opinions are going to be valid.
Right.
Because a lot of them will come from the same sites that always dog shits and rags on anything
Oh,
Xbox.
that's another great point because sites like PlayStation Universe and PlayStation Forever. I mean, come on, guys. When you hear site called Nintendo's the best.com, what do you think they're going to give a Mario game?
Or X Square, Push Square, whatever.
Yeah, or there's literally sites called PlayStation Universe on Metacritic reviews,
hmm
and it's like, what do you think a site like like PlayStation Forever is going to give a game? Come on now, now back, but he bought yeah. So we're going to be just addressing the chat for the rest of the show, basically, if you don't mind. But Ghost Jeremy Brown brought an excellent point though. He bought. Hey, you there? Well, Ebop sound like you may have stepped out, but Jeremy Brown said Ghostwire Tokyo released on PlayStation 5 with issues. Digital Foundry called it bad optimization on Tango. But when the game comes to Xbox, he doesn't understand why it's having issues. Yeah, that's just one of them things, man.
I'm
Oh,
still here, brother. Can you hear me?
okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, if I cut off, it was because I went in the elevator.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
when I get in the elevator, it cuts off. But
Oh,
once I
gotcha.
got out, it comes back on. It cuts back on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like what you were saying before I cut off? I'm sorry.
Oh, Jeremy Brown's comment, he made a great point here. He said Ghostwire Tokyo released on PlayStation 5 with issues. Digital Foundry called it bad optimization from Tango. But when the game came to Xbox, he doesn't understand why it's having issues.
Right. Well, I mean, look, I'm pretty sure what they're having issues because they didn't do it from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Because doing a game from scratch is more cost efficient, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they probably had to port it over to then optimize it. And the thing is, if it was done with the intentions of working on the PlayStation hardware first,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to read as a PlayStation hardware first game, meaning they're going to use it and they're going to optimize it to the best of the ability for the PlayStation hardware. Now, once it travels over and ports over to Xbox, you see that the difference, right? What's up,
Mm-hmm.
Papa? The difference is going to be night and day because the Xbox hardware is optimized, obviously, completely different, right? We have full RDNA 2 and has more memory, more teraflops. You understand?
Right.
So in order for you to optimize, you gotta, work around what it's already there to learn. Or in other words, so the codex of the game, the way they did it, you gotta adapt that codex to benefit from the hardware that is running now on Xbox. That's why you see a lot of PC games, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they bring them out, and you see that they be kind of like butt shit on the fucking PC, but yet there'll be World War like Quantum Break. You remember Quantum Break?
Yeah, of course
When
I
it was
do.
on Xbox, it actually performed better on Xbox than it did than the PC, and they were complaining about it. You don't remember that?
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh, that's bullshit. This and this and that. That means they just did a cheap job." No, because what happens is the game wasn't going to come to PC originally. That's why fat, what's his name, Crab Gamer had that whole fucking thing with fucking Phil, because Phil, it was Remedy that went to them, right,
Mm-hmm.
to ask them if they can port it to PC as well to make more money, right? Because remember, at that point, Xbox One was still not selling a lot of hardware. So I guess their fear was, the game's not going to sell well, or maybe it's not going to sell enough, and we're not making going to make enough money. Even though when the game came out, it was the most successful new IP for Xbox,
Right.
right, in sales, which I also have all that proof, right? But I guess Remedy kind of got afraid, right, and figured, oh, it won't do well because of the fact that Alan Wake didn't do as well, so they didn't want to have that same recurrency, recurrence, recurrency happen. But the difference being, Quantum Break is owned, like the IP, right, is actually owned by Xbox.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like Alan Wake that they owned it. That's why they were able to sell it back to them, and now they're making the sequel because Microsoft published Alan Wake, but they didn't own the IP, just like with Sunset Overdrive, right?
Right.
So there is a difference there. So they couldn't do a sequel because they still had the publishing rights. But Microsoft said, "Oh, no worries, just we'll sell it to you," because Microsoft wasn't going to invest in giving them the money to make Alan Wake 2 after what they did with Quantum Break. Because as soon as Quantum Break came out, even though they had success, what did they do? They went and did a deal and brought Control to PlayStation.
That's right.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
They forgot all about, and remember, they used the Northlight engine that Microsoft helped them build with their money. Because the Northlight engine was built from scratch for Quantum Break, and that was Microsoft that funded that engine, on top of funding the development of the game. And the game took long and became expensive because they put all those first person, like those full motion videos with real actors, right? But the first thing they did was, because the Xbox One wasn't selling a lot of hardware, oh, can we go and put a claim on PlayStation? We're going to do Control. It's called Control, right? And then you saw that Control was a lot smaller. It was a lot denser. It wasn't as open, and you can tell that the budget wasn't as big, right? Because it was funded by another publisher that published it for Remedy. You see?
Yeah,
you could immediately tell the difference, right?
Yeah,
and what did they do? What did the media do?
Oh, they
my God. Control is absolutely incredible. Oh my God. They didn't stop talking about the game. Remember? And what happened? The sales of the game on PlayStation were mediocre. The sales on Xbox, the sales on Xbox were what? Mediocre. Why? Because the game, the Xbox community felt betrayed. They didn't like the fact that they supported Quantum Break, right?
And Alan Wake.
And which were games that did well. And then they come and say, and slap them in the face and be like, and they were like, oh, we don't know if we should stay here, right? And then what they did, because Alan Wake failed, but Alan Wake failed because it was a little game called Red Dead that came out.
Oh, that's right.
The very same day. So Red Dead basically shattered. It shattered it. There was no way that game was going to do well next to a Rockstar release.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. Okay, that's just keeping it realistic. There was no way in hell, right? But because it wasn't like they didn't market it. Plus, also keep in mind that they took a long time to develop Alan Wake as well, because they built a new engine for Alan Wake also.
Oh, okay.
Both times they did the games with Xbox exclusively. Mm-hmm. They built new engines, and Microsoft funded them to make those new engines.
Oh, that's
wild. Both times.
That's wild. And yeah, man. Getting back to the chat here. Found said, played Game Pass on my phone with my Xbox Remote Play. I can't wait for the revision app Xbox going to make after the Activision deal is almost over. Plus more games coming out. Yeah, there are games coming to Xbox all the time, man. Jeremy Brown said, I call BS. The side-by-side comparison were virtually identical. The frames were virtually identical. Ghostwire runs great on the Series X and surprisingly well on the S. Don't believe the BS. Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy. I I feel the same. Listen, I've been playing the game, and like I said, nobody could tell the difference between 60 frames per second and 59. You know that's where stuff just becomes so minor that
Right.
listen,
Like when it's
when
something like that, when it's
yeah,
like a few numbers, there's no way in
or
hell. But they try to make it seem like it's a big deal.
or or,
Now,
or when Digital Foundry zooms on the image by 800 times.
oh yeah. Then they zoom it in by like 700.
Yeah, that's also bullshit, and people use that as proof and stuff. And
Mhm.
again, most games run better on Xbox anyways. Just nobody talks about it because it doesn't feel their argument. It's literally
And
that
it's not
simple.
gonna give them viewership. It's not gonna give them viewership because every time those people, if you go look at their usual suspects as far as their audience, it's always the same people. People that only go there to see Xbox hate rhetoric or that are PlayStation centric or Nintendo centric, right?
Yeah,
So they already know their audience. So they're going to continue to do what they got to do because if they don't, they won't get revenue and the sites will close down and they won't stay open.
right.
Because Xbox guys don't go to Digital Foundry to make a decision on playing a game. Xbox guys don't go to IGN's reviews to see what they have to say to play a game. Xbox guys don't go to Metacritic to see the score to decide, well, if Metacritic gives us a good score, I'll play the game and buy it. But if Metacritic gives a bad score, I'm not playing it. We don't do that.
Right.
Xbox guys don't do. Tell me what Xbox guys that you know that are real Xbox guys that do shit like that.
Yeah, none.
We don't do that. But
Listen, I didn't know Digital Foundry was around in the 360 era. I thought they came around last generation when
oh
everybody
no,
cared about comparison videos.
no, brother. Listen. Tim Dog did right. Tim Dog
Mhm,
did when this was we're talking about way back then when Tim Dog first started. Right. He
mhm.
did a wonderful piece exposing that fucking forum site that used to always bash Xbox. I forget what they were called, but he did a
Reset
wonderful
era.
piece. No, it was one of those. When I remember, I'll tell you. But if anybody in the chat remembers,
N4G.
please. No, it wasn't M4G. It was a forum site that used to always talk shit about Xbox, right?
Mhm,
And he knew the guy that worked there, right?
mhm.
And he showed this evidence of the connection where I believe one of the dudes, right, that works
Mhm,
for Eurogamer, right? He had a relationship with one of the guys that work at Sony's daughter, right?
mhm.
And from what I remember was Eurogamer were the ones who founded or basically who funded to create uh, Digital Foundry over there
Okay.
over there in Europe, right? They
Yeah,
were their
yeah. I'm gonna have to
founders, right?
remember that.
They were their founders. So Digital Foundry and Eurogamer have a really deep connection and relationship with Sony.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you look at their videos from way back then,
Uh-huh.
or their equipment, all they have is Sony shit,
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah, just look at their shit, their equipment, the TV, the receiver, everything. It's all Sony. So
Right.
if you see, that's how you know, right? That either they got incentivized, they're not going to talk good about Xbox shit. Don't you see how they pick and choose their fights? Why they never review certain games? Have you ever seen them review Psychonauts 2?
Yeah. Well, you're asking the wrong person because I don't even go to their YouTube
Okay,
channel, so
well,
I'm
I'll
assuming
tell
you
you.
know.
They have never reviewed Psychonauts 2 and compared the PlayStation version and the Xbox version.
Yeah, of course not.
And you know why? Because the better version is the Xbox version.
Yep.
They didn't even review Killer Instincts or Sunset Overdrive until it came out on PC.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah,
And then when it came out on PC,
I bet they
they try
compared
to
it
do
with
the
the Xbox.
comparison against the Xbox version
Yeah,
to make it seem like, oh my God, look how much superior the PC version is.
yeah.
That's the
My,
shit that they did.
you know what? The thing that I've noticed watching them is that when PlayStation had an advantage, it was a huge deal. When Xbox did, oh, it's still close. It's still close.
When they do PlayStation game, they go like against, like, let's say PlayStation against the PC version.
Hmm.
They'll be like, yes, the PC version is superior, but the PlayStation 4 version and 5 definitely holds its own, has wonderful features, and it's a fantastic experience as well. That's the shit they do.
Yeah, yeah,
When it was
yeah.
Xbox, I kid you not, Xbox or Shinju Elite. I know these guys been around since then. They used to do shit like with the Sunset Overdrive. I remember, oh my God, it feels so jarring playing it on the Xbox from 30 frames from 30 to 60 to 61 frames per second is way
Mhm.
better. This game is just worth playing on PC. You don't need an Xbox console to play it. It's not even worth your time. Blah 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 blah. You and me both know that Overdrive was probably one of the best games from the Xbox One generation.
Yeah, yeah. That game is the epitome of fun. Let me.
Okay.
What was that?
No, I said, okay, me and you both know that because we played the fuck out of
Yeah,
it, beat the DLC,
and
beat the
everything.
game. You can go see our receipts, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
me and you, I think, started an in-depth conversation. I think that's when we started talking more frequently when we brought up the Sunset Overdrive topic on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yep.
I'm not mistaken, that's how me and you started talking more frequently because you were saying that you were one of the few that said, shit, Sunset Overdrive was the reason why I came back to gaming. I
Yep.
remember when you said that.
And what he
And you
said
put
is an
up
absolute
pictures of
fact.
gameplay and screenshots, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, you're absolutely spot on. That's exactly how it happened. I love
Okay.
that game.
So you're gonna tell me, okay, that us being gamers from many years, especially myself, because I have a lot of years over you still,
Mm-hmm.
right? You being 33, me being almost 50, I'm 48, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've been playing all these years. That you're gonna tell me that I don't know when a game is good and I don't know when a game is actually worth your time? You
Yeah.
really think I'm not gonna know
You
that?
like I need a review score to tell me if a game's good. That's insanity.
I guarantee you that you would trust my opinion on a game, me telling you before there was Foundry or before IGN.
Oh, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know when I give you my honest opinion, it's going to be as truthful as I possibly can tell you. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, look, you might not like it because it's very heavy on cutscenes or
Yeah.
QTEs or full or cutscenes. But you might like it because the gameplay is amazing. It's very similar to Ninja Gaiden or very similar to Double Dragon, whatever the case may be. You get what
Yep.
I'm saying? I'm giving you. That's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to break it down to you as honest as possible, and you're going to know this. So you're going to trust me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But when you go to somebody like IGN or Digital Foundry, the first thing they go is, "Oh, the game's graphics, they don't look good enough. They're 900p." When nobody knew what resolution was until that shit started with
until
Digital
20.
Foundry.
Yeah, yo, Hebot, you are not lying, man. Because I still, because it's listen, I never heard a resolution in my life until that
Mm-hmm,
stuff blew up.
mm-hmm,
Until
mm-hmm,
all that whole 1080p make you a better gamer stuff,
mm-hmm,
and the way that people treated it as the end all be all for a
mm-hmm.
couple years until the Xbox
Or even
One
the
came out.
frame rates. Listen, the only reason why I knew is because I went to school for network administration and computer technology.
Oh,
I
okay.
could build computers and I could run a network. That's what I went to school for. Okay. That was my trade from that was the trait that I took, right?
Right.
That's how I knew about resolutions before all this shit started, right? And frame rates. That's how I'm able to tell you how you can tell the difference between the frame rates.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you look at a game that's 60 frames, it's gonna look like you're watching a video game in soap opera,
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. The
right?
frame rates part, I can tell. I could tell it's a
You see
frame
what I'm
rate.
trying to say? But
Yeah,
if you play a game in 30, it looks like you're watching it on a film, like if you were watching a movie.
yeah,
It has
yeah.
more of a filmic look. That's how you can tell the difference. But that's how I explain it to people. And then the same thing with resolution. When you look at resolution, you got to look from point to point on your TV. As far as the dot line, you'll see
Well,
like a no. Go
yeah,
ahead.
and he, but as you say all that, not to cut you off there,
Mhm.
nobody playing games paying attention to that much level of detail in the middle of a
No,
game. They just
no,
freaking
of
not.
course not. Of course not.
Yeah, listen,
Dude, go ahead. Go ahead.
I like 60 FPS. I like the smoothness of it,
Yes.
but it's
So
just
do
not
I.
a deal breaker for me if a game doesn't
Yeah,
have
no,
it.
no, no,
That's
no. I prefer 60 frames, but if a game is good, like I said, Gotham Knights, excellent game. It was 30
mhm.
frames,
Yeah.
but it played solid. It was a good 30 frames game. It played well. I never felt like it wasn't enjoyable ever. And also if we want to run it by that logic, right? then the 360 era would have failed. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because most games on the 360 were 30 frames,
Right.
like 90%.
Yeah. That was the jump to HD and
You know
all.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
During the 360 era, Digital Foundry used to do the videos, and they used to do just a side-by-side comparison with nobody talking,
Uh-huh.
no comments, no counter. Just, well, no, they would have the counter, but because every 360 game was always better than the PS3, they never talked. They just showed it. That's it. That's all they would show.
Right.
Or they would
Right.
show the lighting or something like that. But they never spoke about anything. And when they started talking and doing reviews and saying shit, oh yeah, but the resolution's here. Like, dude, that shit killed me when they did Halo 5, when it was dynamic 1080p, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the game was actually 1080p, but would dynamically drop to 900 in order to keep the frame rate, which was 60 frames, right? And they try to make it seem like that was a bad thing.
Right.
When it wasn't. It was a trick in order for you to maintain the frame rate, because the frame rate in first-person shooters are more important, right?
Yeah.
Especially something like Halo that's so fast-paced, right?
Right.
And then they went to the, oh yeah, but you see those the little, what they're called, the fucking little guys that walk around saying shit in Halo. Not the Flood, the other dudes. The hey, they talk like that. That they're small.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just
Well,
don't
then
think
they
and
went
hear
to
the
that
reminder.
shit. And they were like, yeah, we noticed that all the characters in the background are only in 520p versus the 1080p on the whole frame rate or the whole frame of the game. I'm like, these motherfuckers are talking about the frame rate of characters in the background.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to take a magnifying glass and look at it like, oh, no, it's not good enough. Like, what?
Yeah. That and like Shinzo Elite said, Digital Foundry is the most useless YouTube channel. It does nothing but fuel
Oh,
console
God.
war.
It's so bad. That's how you knew, Unlimited, that we were into some clownery. Because you tell me ever, when you ever played the game, since you played back then in the Nintendo, where you looked at what shit looked like in the
No,
background.
hold on, Hebot. You know damn well I ain't on no Nintendo.
Go ahead.
No,
What was that?
no, I said, you know damn well I didn't grow up on Nintendo.
Oh, well, you know, on the Sega. I'm sorry. When you play your Sega games, did you look at the background to see how clear the graphics were?
Nope. I was too
Dude,
busy. I was too busy trying to beat Sonic as fast as I can.
dude, I don't ever remember ever looking at the resolutions or how clear something looked in the background. If the game looked pretty and had nice colors and played well, that's all I cared about. I didn't give a fuck about nothing else ever.
Yeah. Listen, man. Let me. I'm got to get back to the chat in a second, man. With the Sega, all I'm trying to do is beat them games: Streets of Rage, Mortal Kombat, X-Men 2, Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
See, Sega Genesis. Oh, that console was fantastic. But
Green Dog, Kid Chameleon, Cool
yep.
Spot.
Oh man, what was that? What was that one game? That 3D, that awesome 3D game that came out late in its life?
Which one? Vector Man?
Vector Man. That's it. I thought it was something like that. I almost said Victory or some shit.
That game was
Man,
awesome.
Yeah, man.
Shakanda Forever Man. They had so many nice titles. But again, we never looked at the background or how something looked or clear. Any game, even when we went into the 120-bit era in the Saturn days, or even in the PS one era, right?
Yeah.
Even in the 64 era, we didn't look at that. So when you saw that they did that, when they reviewed Halo and talked about how the characters in the background were 500p versus the 1080p with the whole shot, you knew that we were into some serious clownery with these motherfuckers.
Right. Yeah. Excellent stuff. Now let me get here. Jamie Brown here said you can view someone as competition and still do business with them. Now, in the business relationship is healthy and mutual. Now that's another story.
Mm-hmm.
Dank Fountain. I told them ponies Monster Hunter Rise is on my Series S. Is more next gen. You got my goodness. I have told them ponies Monster Hunter Rise on my Series S is more next gen. Have you guys seen the graphics mode Best port to Xbox. Horizon Forbidden Entertainment looks like trash version of Monster Hunter World. Yeah, it's also not fun. It's also not fun.
Oh, it's more fun, right? Hands down, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Jeremy Brown. Netflix can lock down games. Just don't get mad when they don't get certain games. Yeah, man. I forgot Netflix was in gaming Hebot until Jeremy Brown mentioned that Oxenfree bought the developers who make Oxenfree.
Right.
And so it did give me a theory. Will Netflix see Microsoft has competition here? Or are they going to do cloud gaming?
Well, Microsoft invested in Netflix. Remember that?
Yeah,
they invested like $20 billion last year.
Really?
Because
that recently?
Yeah, because they want to. Remember, I told people Microsoft's going to do this because they don't have a movie studio like Sony. So that's why they announced that the Gears of War movies coming to Netflix.
Ah, gotcha.
You understand? Because they wanted to be a big budget game movie for Netflix, like with quality. But how do you do that? Investing in the same company that's going to do your work. So don't be surprised long term if it works out, they'll merge, right? And there'll be ownership. Don't be surprised. That can happen. Or if Netflix gets in some type of bind and need to get out of trouble, they'll get them out of trouble and they'll have ownership. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Because that's what it's all about. That's how you make business. That's how business is created. So, again, long story short, like we were saying, so when I see stuff like that, when people got mad because Phil said, that we're bringing the Game Pass to 92 countries, right, on PC, it's like, yo, dude, that's because they want to establish a bigger audience without having to worry about the cost, right? Of having to ship out these fucking goddamn consoles, ship out the games physically, because it's going to be more cost efficient. Because not only that, they'll ship them out somewhere like China, like I said, or Japan, and yet they don't sell as well as PlayStation and Nintendo anyway.
Right.
You see? So how do they beat it out? They still give them what they need, which is their brand and their games and their ecosystem, but without having to take the loss of hardware shipping and hardware costs. You see?
Right.
Because like I said, when the Xbox One came out in China, that shit was $700.
Oh, that's right. It was expensive out there.
It was $700. Who's gonna pay $700 in China when they could buy a PC? Right. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And remember, they have the access to consoles for like 15 years until the Xbox One and PS4 came out.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And
so they already adapted and migrated to PC. They don't care for consoles as much.
Right.
And Microsoft knows this. So what do? They offer shit like this over there. They don't need to ship out a console, and they can play it on their PC, but yet it's still the Xbox brand and the Xbox ecosystem. Money still comes in, and they still make money to acquire more studios and make more games. That's all it is. It's not to devalue the console or the hardware.
Yeah.
Because wherever the console sells, they still bring it out.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
People say that are still stuck in the 2006 business model. That's all it is.
It's not rocket science, dude. You just got to put 2 and 2 together. And that gives them the advantage because Sony can't offer that, and neither can Nintendo. Because they don't have that type of ecosystem with something like Game Pass. They just don't. So they have to keep doing it the old way, shipping out hardware, and hopefully the hardware will sell. And they take a loss for every console they sell because they got to sell it way more expensive, right?
Yeah, right.
It is what it is. And that's why Sony and Nintendo still stay in the same parameter of money. They're still $40 billion company or $37 billion company, while Microsoft's Xbox division is over $600 billion.
Yeah, so back to the chat here. Excellent stuff as always, Hebot. Dank Fountain said, I want them to sell their Xbox so I can upgrade to the Series X faster. Thank you, dumb ponies. Don't worry, Dank. If you can't find a resold Xbox this month, wait until June when they sell their Xboxes again before the June show. I don't know, Hebot. I don't know how they keep having Xboxes to sell, but they sell them bitches every year. Jeremy Brown, Minecraft Legends runs solid on console and PC. That game is going to make money. Yeah, of course it is. It's a Minecraft game. Listen, Microsoft, and I really do respect this strategy of, okay, we're going to give you Call of Duty, we're going to give you Minecraft, but that's just going to fund everything else. Love that strategy.
Look, the only argument that I can honestly, have agree with some of the people saying is that they need to bring out more of their first party games physical. Bring them out.
Yeah. I'm
Because
with you there.
there's still an audience for physical, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And having games physical always guarantees 1000% preservation, right? Because if something happens to the game online or the servers or whatever the case may be, and you can't access it with a game disc, you'll always have access to it. It's just that simple. But again, I think it's a lot of the reason is because of what you said. Since they see that the data is that most people buy 70% digitally, they figure, well, they could either buy digital, or now we'll just bring the big titles like Halo or Starfield physical, and that's it. You know what I'm trying to say? But I really do feel they need to invest more on things like Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah,
Right?
I'd like to see more. I love more collector's items like the special edition controllers,
Mm-hmm.
collector's editions and stuff.
Or
I
make
love
it like
stuff.
a collector's edition so they can make. I mean, it's more expensive, but at
Yeah,
least you're
but
giving people an incentive to buy it.
yeah, exactly. See, what I like
You see
about
what I'm saying?
collector's editions are just exactly what it is. It's limited, made for those of us who collect.
Mm-hmm.
People like me and you, not for the Hebots. I mean, not for the Erocs. I mean, of the world who
Right.
they just they do their do their thing, do their downloads, and they're good. Me and
Yeah,
you,
Erock's a perfect example. You remember he said he don't care about physical. He's
yeah,
like, I don't
yeah,
want no physical copy. I want it digital
yeah,
because it's comfortable for me.
yeah. Him
And he just
100,
loves it.
yeah, him 100. Other Zinc, they're the
Hmm.
digital crew.
My
Me,
son, my son also, my youngest son, he's like that too.
yeah,
He like
yeah,
everything digital. I'm like, my dude, do you understand if something happens, you're not gonna have access to your game that is dangerous? So you're not supposed to just celebrate digital, but he likes it. Like,
yeah,
what are you
yeah.
gonna do? Tell him not to like it? You can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, digital sales are so prevalent that
Hmm.
even Nintendo has something like 75% of their games are digitally sold
Oh
now.
yeah, which is unheard of because they always sold shit physical.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So that's one of the things I'm with you there. I'm 100% on the board of at least give us physical, for people like us. But other than that, however, that's not big enough for me to be angry.
Oh no,
I'm not
for
selling my
sure, for
Xbox
sure.
because Hi-Fi Rush is at a physical copy.
Right.
That's
But the
ridiculous.
reason why I use Hi-Fi Rush as an example, for example, right,
Mhm.
is because it did so well. It was a surprise hit,
Right.
right? So it being a surprise hit, also you'll be like, okay, you know what? This game did well enough, better than what we expected. Why don't we do a physical limited run of physical copy of the game, so that the people that like physical could buy it too and give it a second life. It'll be on store shelves, right? And
Mhm.
more people can discover it because a lot of people that go into GameStop and places like that are not all on the know because they're not always online and like us that know everything
Mhm.
don't even know Xbox have certain games because they're not available physical.
Yeah.
That happened with Cuphead. That happened with even what was the other game that they came out like things like what was the other one that came out? Jesus Christ, I'm trying to remember. There was some other game that came out, a couple other games that came out that they didn't have a physical, and they didn't know they were Xbox games, right?
Yeah.
Because even Cuphead didn't get one until after the fact,
Yeah.
way
It
later
came
when it
out
was
later.
already available on Nintendo and on PlayStation, right?
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and excellent stuff. Jeremy Brown, I remember D-Batch and Zucker. They said their backlogs were filled, so they got no worries. The minute they hear delays, they're crying. Yeah. See, what some of them do, Hebot in chat, is that some of them they like to be mad. I'm convinced, Hebot, that they like to be mad because they constantly put themselves in situations where they're upset over stuff that's nothing to get mad at, right? And so I've come to the conclusion, Jeremy, they just want to be bad. It is what it is. Thank Fountain. I looked into
yeah. How do
Microsoft.
you say that they don't worry because they have a backlog, but then when they see a delay, they get mad?
Yeah, exactly. I thought you weren't worried, and Dank here.
That's so hypocritical.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
how do you
exactly.
do that?
It's absurd. Dank Fountain. I looked in the Microsoft Store. So many great games people pass up on. Stupidity is everywhere. Yeah, and I believe the spring sale's still going on too. Dank. Signal Elite. I'm an actual gamer, so I'm happy. I'm
Hey, brother,
convinced.
can you fill it up with
Uh,
repower, please?
hey, you sound like you're talking to somebody else there, Hebot.
Yeah. I'm getting gas. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah. He said, I'm an actual gamer and I'm happy. I'm convinced that people that are unhappy aren't really gamers. They just play walking sims. Well, sometimes, Shinzo, I'm not even sure if they like gaming at all because when I hear stuff about how terrible gaming is, and this, and that, it's okay if gaming ain't for you anymore, but don't bring me down because you ain't happy about it. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see. D-Batch literally talking about how powerful his PC is. I'm like, bruh, then just play Redfall on PC. Yeah, hold on. Wait a minute. I can't believe it. The powerful PC narrative is still a thing. Wow. that's hilarious. He got the powerful PC, but okay.
Well, he was talking about his powerful PC and what?
Yeah, he said D-Batch literally talking about how powerful his PC is. I'm like, bruh, just play Redfall on PC then. You know,
Oh, okay. Yeah, doesn't that sound counterproductive? That you're
yeah.
complaining about a game on Xbox when you just said that you have the most powerful PC?
Look,
So if you have the choice, play it on the PC.
Man, if I spent thousands of dollars on a PC, I ain't touching my damn console for a while.
That's what I'm saying.
I gotta get my money's
Exactly.
worth off that expensive ass PC.
Oh, shit, you ain't lying.
That's crazy. Dank Fountain said, "My cart. I don't think this price is right, Dank. There's no way you got $10,089 in your cart. You must be buying every single game on the store. So that's probably a typo. We probably meant $100.89. So many games I need to buy. I'm so happy I took.
Oh, he's probably saying that that's how many big games he has to buy. It's worth like $10,089.
Oh, okay, yeah,
That's probably what he said. Like, hey, that's what it comes out to if he bought all the games he wants.
Yeah,
that's probably what he means.
Yeah, Shinzo Elite said, "I wish they stopped communicating." By they, he means the Xbox execs stop communicating like PS and Nintendo. Yeah, the title of my stream is kind of facetious. It's just the sense that Shinzo. It's just that Phil Spencer puts out a tweet about a video game and just I wouldn't talk to people if I put out a tweet and all people do is bitch under my, all their responses just bitching and bitching. That shit is insanity. Like this dude, 15 years long Xbox customer and got Xbox Series X on days long. I'm not happy with my purchase. Listen, if you're not happy with your purchase, just sell the Xbox. Barely any quality games, which is again provable bullshit, have come to Xbox since launch. For people who fall for this stuff, don't fall for this narrative because you'll never convince me. You go to Game Pass, you go to the Xbox store, you go to your local game store, wherever, and you see games, and you don't think any of them are quality. You think barely any quality games. Come on, man. Come on. So yeah. It's just no. When I say that, I don't mean it in a literal sense, 100%. It's just that if Sarah Bond or Phil Spencer one day said, "You know what? Fuck it, I'm deleting my Twitter," I understand because that shit is annoying.
Right. I mean, I'm to be honest. You never ever see any Sony exec talk to anybody, right?
No, oh hell no.
I remember Yoshida would come from time to time. He would say some stuff. But then there was one dude that was faking the phone. He had like an account that he was making believe he was Yoshida. So you had to be careful because sometimes it was him, but you didn't know until they did the check mark thing. That's how you would know.
Right.
But so he would come from time to time and say something, but not actually speak with the fan base, right? Mm-hmm. Because you didn't even see people like Sean Layden doing interviews with people like what's his face? The one that E-Rock always brings up. Not Porter Rock, the other dude, the black dude that had the argument one time with fucking Tuck in a debate. I forgot what's his fucking name.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he's a pony. He's always being stupid.
There's so many of them.
Not Porter Rock, not Nancy. The other, did you remember his name?
No.
that our brother Tuck had a debate with him one time, and he was trying to be stupid because Tuck, he's
Mhm.
not really well versed as far as the details. Like he's not really informed with all the details, even though he knows what he wants to say. So he was trying to say like he embarrassed him or whatever, and it wasn't even like that. Um, that he's a straight up pony, always talking shit. He did an interview with Sean Layden after Sean Layden retired.
Mhm.
Jabari, that's who it is. Jabari.
Oh.
Jabari. That's who I'm talking about. Jabari, right? He's like a Sony fanboy, like hardcore. And he had an interview with Sean Layden in his channel,
Mhm.
but it was after Sean Layden had left Sony, right?
Right.
It was one of those things that you never seen those guys do things like that until they saw, other people do it
Mhm.
on the Xbox community with the Xbox people, like in the YouTube scene. But the difference is people like Aaron Greenberg or even uh, the one that went to Blizzard. What's his name? What's his name? The Blizzard before the dude from Gears.
Cliffy
Not
B.
Rob Ferguson, the other one.
Oh, Cliff Brzezinski.
Mike
Oh,
Jabbar.
oh,
Mike Jabbar.
Mike Ibarra. Mike
When
Ibarra.
Mike
Yeah.
Ibarra, before he left, he did a couple like he went on Colt Eastwood shit. He went on dealer shit.
Mhm.
There was a few people that he went in their podcasts and did interviews with, right?
Mhm.
But he was still part of Xbox, right? The Sony execs never do that. Not while they were working at the company.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. Yeah, they might have done that, but it was after the fact. Not while they were in the actual company. And even what's his face? Phil. Phil did that podcast with that dude Paris and his boy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
At
Yeah.
that time, and you see how Paris acts all the time about the Xbox, saying that his most anticipated game is Spider Man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. 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 And you're spot on, man. Jeremy Brown here said, notice the minute they start to diss Xbox, less Xbox guys to tune in, and now ponies start to tune in. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's how it is. And then that you end up with them shitty comments where people just insult each other or just say crazy stuff just to get attention. Man,
Hmm.
that ain't how you do it, man. Hey, Balingong, I gotta figure out how to pronounce your username, man. I can understand why they feel
I
like
think you
second
said it right,
class.
Bellingham.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
kind of understand why they feel like second class citizens. To be honest, I kind of do. Yeah, hey man, let me know why you feel that way because I'm on the opposite end. Ballingun. This is to me. This is the important part. This image. All these games you see on screen right here, Game Pass, and I just don't see how Octopath Traveler not coming to Xbox or Oxenfree not coming to Xbox negates all this.
Well, here's the thing. I believe the first one didn't come on Xbox first either, right?
Octopath Traveler or
No,
Oxenfree?
Oxenfree.
Oh,
Oxenfree came out first.
both are on Xbox. The first
I
game is
know,
both
but
on
I'm
Xbox.
saying Oxenfree wasn't it out on PlayStation first also? Then it came to Xbox?
I'd have to look that up because
I
I don't
don't
know off the top.
remember, but I believe that was the phrase anyway. So if that's the case, that's probably what they're doing anyway.
Right. Yeah, yeah. That maybe. I mean, it's not exactly like that. That's not uncommon, right?
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know why people are getting all, up in arms about it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. Well, with Xbox, man, it's a different breed with Xbox. Jeremy Brown said they think they're being neutral or fair, but they don't understand them dudes only there to watch them bash Xbox. Yeah, and notice Jeremy Brown. Anytime you bash Xbox, that's the only time they say that you're being fair. But if you have any type of opposing view or positive view, then you're a fanboy, and that's nonsense. Kids Move said it himself. His most viewed videos are him bashing Xbox, but he's still on Move to Them channel crying over and bashing Xbox. Yeah, that's a good point. And I noticed this a while ago, years ago. I saw somebody's channel. I don't remember who, but I remember looking at their views, and their views bashing Xbox were easily their most popular.
Oh, yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah. That was like that dude that you called out. What's his name? The Chinese dude, the Chinese looking dude.
oh yeah,
Remember?
young Ye.
Young Ye, exactly. You looked
Yeah,
at his shit when he was talking about when the Xbox, remember when it first came out, and then he was talking about PS5, and all his fucking negative shits with Xbox have massive amounts of views, and then the
what,
shit for the PlayStation,
what was crazy?
then it wasn't the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. What's crazy is that the positive PlayStation news
Hello?
got less views. Yeah, can you hear me? You there, Hebot? Uh-oh. Hey, Hebot. Yo, Hebot.
Oh, my fault, pal.
Hey,
I gotta come back out here. Pick up
yeah.
Annie. Annie gets out at 12:30.
Hey, yeah. Hey, Hebot. Sounds like I don't know what's going on. Now you went twice. Let me see what happened if I remove that one. Yeah. Yeah. Hebot, you might have to come out and come in. Looks like there's an issue there.
I'm
David Dreffy said PS Plus was going to get Immortals Phoenix Rising. Um, Immortals Phoenix Rising came to Xbox before it came to Sony's service. Those people don't seem to get that. Okay. All right. There you are.
You hear me, right?
Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, when you called out Young Ye, it was the same thing. All the videos he did for negative Xbox, that shit blew up.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I was trying to say. It's crazy because even his positive PlayStation views got less views than his negative
That's what
Xbox.
I'm trying to tell you. That's a fact.
Yeah, and it's
I
Shinzo.
told you that the reason why people like to watch negative Xbox news because it's what gives them security and validates them being fans of, let's say, PlayStation or Nintendo, for example.
Right.
I feel that's why they love to look at negative Xbox shit because it
Yeah,
just don't make no sense.
yeah. And here's the thing. I never go to YouTubers and watch PlayStation's, PlayStation
That's another
failed
great
this or
point.
this or that. You know,
No Xbox guys like us. I never go to a PlayStation channel. You don't ever see me go to Porter Rock's channel to listen to talk about Sony.
hmm
And I always tell people, yeah, he's a good PlayStation channel. Go watch him if you like PlayStation. I don't watch him
right.
because I don't like PlayStation like that. I just don't. And I also know that he's going to be saying a lot of fake shit and fake narratives, and especially when he talks about PlayStation versus Xbox because he's always done it. You know?
Right.
So I'm not going to give him my time of day. Now, if I want to know something about PlayStation that I don't know, then I know, and he has a video on it, then I'll go watch it because I know he's going to know because he's on the PlayStation. That's his favorite console. But
hmm
other than that, never. I don't give none of these guys views. I
Yeah.
only go to Xbox centric stuff, and even then, with the issues that we have, like I said, you can't go anymore because most of those dudes that's supposed to represent it. What's up, Bobby? That's supposed to represent Xbox. They're not real representatives. It's like that's what I forgot who was it said that the other day. I think it was Mr. Kima. He said that he saw Boomstick say that his most anticipated game, the best game, is going to be Spider-Man 2, and he said he unsubscribed to him or some shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, retarded
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
even he's even playing both sides of the fence because
Right.
he's just worrying about viewerships.
Right. And the thing is, I don't listen. If you like PlayStation, be my guest. I just don't
Right.
understand why your logo has Xbox, your podcast called Xbox something, and then it's like, oh, my favorite game is Sony, or let's get mad at Xbox over small stuff that nobody actually cares about. Like view. And then some of them you might end up with the crap gamer issue where you just kill your channel for being so negative, no matter what side you're on. Dunk Falcon, they started playing video games on PS4, no gaming history. Yeah, PS5 upgrade, they got robbed. Final Fantasy 7 sold 6 million on PlayStation 4 and flopped on PC because it was poorly optimized. Oh, it went to PC, huh? You think Square would be porting their games on Xbox a little quicker? Yeah, you think so, but
I'm here. I'm here.
yeah, you come in. I don't know if you drive under a tunnel or something, but you just kind of said I'm here and phased out. I'm getting all the Kingdom Hearts on Xbox. They still mad. Yeah, for some reason the Kingdom Hearts games were expensive when they released, and they really go on sale too, Dank. I don't know why. But it's like if you look right now, they're in the $50, $60, $70 range, and that's a little too expensive for them 20-year-old games, in my opinion. Shinzo Elite. I remember when Final Fantasy 13 came out, Square said Final Fantasy would be multi-plat from then on. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's that didn't age well. Is that true?
Yeah. When Final Fantasy 15 came out, you talking about, right?
Yeah. No, 13. He said 13. When 13 came out on the 360, Square said back then, whatever year it was, 2012, I'm thinking, that it'll be multi-plat from then on.
I believe he's right. I think I know exactly what he's talking about. I believe he's right. But then you see how that has aged. Because even when they brought out Final Fantasy 15 on Xbox, that shit did well on Xbox.
Yeah.
It sold very, very well. You would think that when they saw that, they're like, oh, no, damn, fuck that. We got to keep it on multi-plat because we're making money on both sides. But again, I truly believe that Sony in order for them to keep, that same messaging like I told you, they were like, you know what? No, let's just bring it out. Let's give you an exclusive deal because we don't have a lot of first-party exclusives. So we want, some exclusive games on our platform. Well, let's make an exclusive deal so that it could be only on PlayStation for a certain amount of time. Because remember, it was supposed to be 1 year, and it was even labeled on the box. And then I guess they went back and did another deal to make it, I guess, for the whole duration of the generation, I guess. And they haven't released it since, and then they took it off the boxes.
Yeah, I remember that too. Do
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and and again, Xbox solution is that let's just buy the studios and publishers. We're just going to own everything.
That's why I didn't get mad when Microsoft started doing that because I knew why they were doing it.
Yeah,
because they didn't. Phil said we don't want to get shut out anymore with third-party deals.
Yeah.
You know how many times they got burnt, especially last generation.
Yeah, last generation was absurd.
They got burnt by so many people.
I seriously think every third-party deal at the time, except for Undead Labs, who they later bought, and Playground Games, again, who they also later bought. I think every other third-party deal out of those two didn't work out. They got burned. Remember, they helped out all the people from Moon Studios with Ori. Yep. Then they burnt them. They got burnt. They got the people from Cuphead. They burnt them. Titanfall. They got burnt. The fucking Sunset Overdrive. They got burnt. Quantum Break. They got burnt. You know what I'm saying? The only one that didn't burn them was Recore, which is Armature Studios, which is sad because Armature Studios still, until even the beginning of this generation with Xbox Series X, Armature Studios was telling them, "Oh, we want to make a sequel to Ori. I mean, to Recore," and Microsoft hadn't extended the invitation, I guess, to do it, right? And I'm thinking it's because Recore didn't do as good as they wanted to, so they didn't want to invest in that, right?
Or maybe Armature didn't want to be bought because they got bought recently. By somebody. Who the fuck bought Armature, Darius? Who was it that bought them? Was it Tencent or was it Embracer? Anyway, they got bought either by Embracer or by Tencent recently.
Oh, they got bought by the bad guys, the real bad guys.
Right. By the ones that want to take over the world, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, Jeremy Brown here said. Yeah, Jeremy Brown said nobody's talking about Project E's Stellar Blade, but everyone was mad Redfall wasn't coming to PlayStation 5. Yeah, and for some reason, when it came to Xbox, Jeremy, people don't understand how ownership works anymore. They think just because a game was kind of sort of in development before Microsoft bought Bethesda, it should still come to place. It's nonsense, absolutely nonsense.
All the people come. But wait, but look at this now.
What?
Even that game, Project Project Eve.
Oh yeah,
That
Stellar Blade. Yeah,
it's called something else now, and the other
yep,
one,
Stellar Blade now.
all those papers fell. Let me get them because all those games. Usually they announce them exclusive. They were supposed to be for Xbox too. They were
Yep,
going to come to Xbox, but nobody's talking about it. Like, oh yeah, that's great that they're exclusives. You see what I'm saying?
yep.
Even the last Ronin game that they're doing, or the Ronin, the next Ronin, or whatever, with from Ninja Theory or whatever, or Team Ninja rather, right?
Hmm.
Again, nobody's talking about it, even though they're exclusive, because that is kind of approach is not gonna work anymore. It's not gonna work anymore because Microsoft got a bunch of games that came out exclusively that is not on their console either. That's coming. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No. You are 200% correct. You know, and every time that happens, people blame Microsoft for it for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft's supposed to follow Sony around everywhere and prevent them from
Or
buying
do
stuff.
what they say. So if Microsoft do everything Sony does,
Yeah,
Microsoft would have been bankrupt
yeah, exactly.
because they don't get a break. Sony does at least. They don't.
Yeah, yeah, with that absurd nonsense. Shinzo Elite said gameplay and fun factor are king to me. Same here, same here. If a game ain't fun, listen, Shinzo. My thing has always been if a game ain't fun, nothing else matters because I can't.
Mhm.
That's why I shit on Horizon Forbidden Entertainment all the time because I played it. It wasn't fun. I had to give up. I had to give
I
up
did
on it.
not, and did I tell you it was boring? I told
Yeah,
you.
yep,
I
yep.
was like, yo, watch when you play it,
Yep.
unlimited. Watch. And you're gonna tell me if I was wrong or if I was right. I told you
You
the game is boring.
you were right about every Sony game that I tried, man.
I said
Every
it's
single one.
boring. The
You
game
said
looks good, but it's boring.
yep. You said the Spider-Man game was pretty good, and I ended up enjoying it. You said the
Hmm.
old God of War was better than the new one. Oh, I played God of War 3 remastered. I love that game. I was
Oh, God of War 3 is fucking great, bro.
when I played God of War 3, I was like, holy shit, why don't Sony make more games like this? It's fast paced, it's
Hmm.
fun, it had great boss fights.
Well, that
I
was
can't,
my favorite franchise from them. I told you, dude.
yeah,
And even
man.
Ascension was fucking dope. And it got
Yeah.
hate. And
Well,
Ascension was a really good game.
yeah, I didn't play Ascension, but I did play 3 remastered on PlayStation because it was super cheap when I first
Yeah,
got my
yeah.
PS5.
Ascension was actually I didn't play it because people were like, "Oh no, it's not that good," and I actually hesitated. But when I finally played, I was like, "What the fuck were they talking about? This
Yeah,
game's actually really good." And
right.
and it was, and they were like, "Oh no, it's corny," and I was like, "Oh no," because at that point they were trying to say that it was felt stale, that it was
Mhm.
the same thing, that it wasn't changing. I'm like, dude. If that's the genre of game that it is, it's not. It doesn't have to change. It just has to add new things.
Yeah.
Don't
I
have to
mean,
change.
it beats chopping wood and fighting the same fucking trolls over and over and all that.
Yeah, and I mean now it's like you can't even jump. And if you're
Yeah.
if you're gonna have any type of platforming is you got to use the whip to swing yourself around
You know
and
what it
shit.
You know what it is? I don't like Hebot. I don't like that a lot of these Sonar games kind of make me feel boxed in. You know, at least give
Right,
me the
right, right. I
illusion
know
of
exactly what
freedom.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, at least give me the illusion of freedom. You know, like if I wanna explore, let me explore. But in many of these games, you could only explore what the devs let you explore, and
Mm-hmm.
that just end up feeling so stifling and boring to me. You know,
Well,
even their
it's,
open world games feels so
they don't
closed
even
in.
feel like open world, or like there's not enough in the open world. Right, right. I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I know they feel
yeah,
dead. They feel like dead worlds. That's what I said.
yeah, and that's
Look,
what made. Oh yeah.
no, I was gonna say my son, right? Yesterday, right? My son Zach, right? Shout outs to him anyway. He was watching a video with a dude, right? That was talking about God of War, and the first thing he was saying is, "This is gonna be my most hated game video of all times." But I have to be honest because I've always tried to do my channel and being honest to the viewers about my thoughts about science.
Hmm.
And he fucking said, "God of War Ragnarok is the most boring game I've played in a long ass time." He was like, I said it's so boring. And motherfuckers, you got to see the ratio on his fucking channel
Yeah.
for that video.
There was
Horrible.
a lot of dislikes, huh?
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And he said it. He said, "I know I'm gonna get hate, but I gotta do it. I can't lie. This
Yeah.
game is boring as fuck." And he went in on it and explained why. And I
Right.
was laughing because I was like, he clearly is one of those dudes that just plays stuff to get viewership.
Mhm.
right? I'm not gonna necessarily say that he's an actual Sony fan. He probably prefers the Sony game, PlayStation, but he also plays Xbox and stuff like that. I would think. But he was telling the people what he felt, and he got and the video got ratios.
Yeah, yeah. For some reason, a lot of them just can't take opinion. Our
Like you
brother,
can't say nothing that a Sony game is bad, even if it is. Like it's what?
yeah, yeah. For some reason, yeah, they created the illusion that these Sony games are so great, but it all
That's
fails
like
to
me
stand.
here sitting. It's me sitting here and saying, "Oh, I love Pentiment," when I know damn well I don't like it.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
others might like it, but if I don't like it, I'm not gonna sit here and lie.
Yeah, exactly. Same
I don't
same
like
here.
it.
Same here. Our brother Sega Forever said, for me, it's playing the games I have and not worry about the games that
That's
don't
right.
support the Xbox or Microsoft ecosystem. Yeah, yeah. Sega Forever, he words things very, very, very well, and
Oh yeah, yeah. He's very meticulous with his wording.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. I like that. Shinzo Elite said Benedict Fox looks great. Yes, it does. It looks very
yes, it
creative.
does.
Creative. Yeah,
It's the same thing. Like I don't know if you've seen it, but Bramble.
mhm,
Bramble comes out in June.
mhm.
That looks awesome too.
Is that coming to
And it's got
Xbox?
a physical. It's got a physical.
Oh, nice.
It's got like the same graphics style like Benedict Fox, but not the 2D sci. It's more like a 3D
Mhm,
mixed with 2D. It looks like a little kid in this world where he's shrunk, and there's a bunch of like creatures and shit that you gotta escape.
mhm.
But it has like photorealistic graphics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It looks
I'm
really.
gonna
It's
look at.
called Bramble.
Yeah,
Bramble.
I'm gonna look into it a little
Yeah, yeah.
later.
It's gonna be $35. You can get it in Amazon or you can get it in Best Buys.
Oh, that's what's up.
Since I know you like buying physical, if you want to get a physical, because I plan to get a physical. Then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll probably,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll look into it. Jeremy Brown said there are a lot of moments in God of War Ragnarok where you don't control the characters; they just slow walk. Yeah. Oh, I hate that
That's a
slow
fact.
walk. Ah, I
It's
hate
a
that
fact.
slow walking so much. The slow walking just kills me. It kills me in games I like, but it's even worse in games I don't like because it just feels like such a waste. Oh man,
Another
slow.
thing they did in the Ragnarok is that they did what they did with Spider-Man,
Mhm.
where you played a lot more as the girl and as Atreus, the little kid.
Yeah.
And when you play as them, it just kind of feels off. It doesn't feel as satisfying, I guess, as when you play with Kratos.
Uh-huh.
So it really kills the balance of the game.
Ah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's from
yeah,
what
yeah.
I've heard, because I still yet to play the game in its full entirety. I
Mhm.
played until the part where, okay, I don't want to spoil it, but maybe you probably, anyway, until you find out that Atreus, AKA Loki, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that. I remember that from
AKA Loki has the powers like rise from your grave, like Ultra Beast, to turn into animals.
okay.
Because you fight him, you fight a bear in the beginning of the game, and it ends up being Atreus,
Hmm.
his son. He was fighting his son. He didn't even know it. He turned into a bear.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh,
oh Jesus
yeah,
Christ!
yeah.
Or he knew about it, but they didn't explain how he got the powers.
Right,
Just like
right.
they had all these wolves, these beautiful big wolves,
Hmm.
and one of them ends up dying right in the beginning, and yet you don't have no clue how they got him, where they met him, how long they've been with them. No story. Just started the game. They had him, and then one of them ends up dying, and fucking Atreus is all about to like bust out crying and shit. And it's so, oh my god,
Is
it's just
Atreus turns into one of the wolves you ride on the sled?
I don't know if it happens during the game,
Yeah.
but
Well,
I know that one of the wolves dies, and they like act like they have like this big bond that is part of the
mhm.
story, but they never tell you. It just starts off that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Jeremy Brown said Sony thought God of War Ragnarok was going to lock the gaming community down.
Hmm.
FYI, it fucking didn't. No, not only that, the weekend after it came out, they went back to talking about Xbox. It was hilarious. It was hilarious, man. It was so.
What was it that happened? Unlimited, where I forgot what it was. Something was doing well for Xbox,
Mhm.
and then they came out of nowhere and said, "Yeah, God of War sold 11 million copies." I'm like, what?
Oh,
When the shit was announced that it only sold like 3 million just a few months before, I
yeah.
forgot what it was, and it was like right after the holidays where they have bundled it up.
Mhm. Yeah, and speaking of the bundles, another thing that the game is still bundled with God of War right now, and that's on sale. You could buy it for about like
You get it for free
$56.
now. They give you $50 back.
Yeah,
Because it's not selling the bundle.
right. The realist said, Phil already said years ago that they would be focusing on E-rated content. Well, we
That's
haven't
right.
gotten much E-rated content outside of Minecraft,
Yeah, yeah.
at least first party wise.
Well,
Because
he was talking, realist. He was talking about, you know that anyway. He was talking about because he wanted to bring more family-oriented games to Xbox
oh
also,
yeah.
because he admired how Nintendo
Mhm,
was able to capture that family
mhm,
environment, a family
yeah.
audience,
Well, they got the
with their
IPs.
games.
They
Mhm.
got the IPs. People been asking for Banjo Kazooie for like 20 years, man.
Oh yeah, for real. Seriously, yeah,
Banjo
yeah. Even
Kazooie,
even a cameo, they could do the sequel to Cameo.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was in the works.
yeah.
And Cameo was a gorgeous family game.
Yeah, man. They got the IPs to hit that family
Oh
market
yeah,
if they
oh yeah.
want.
Torque, they could do a new Torque.
And the thing about the family games, Hebot, I would imagine the budget for those won't be as high as these AAA Starfield level games.
No. I mean, it could be if they use the like the quality of like the Pixar,
Hmm
like that they were high on life.
hmm
Like if they look like that, they still could be expensive because it's still pretty quality. Like the quality is still high quality, or
hmm
like like the way it looks like with the Ratchet and Clank, that it's like that 3D animation like Disney movie Pixar.
Right.
It could still be expensive, but it won't be nowhere near expensive as something as Halo or Gears. I think personally.
Yeah.
So I think yeah, you do have a point, but I think it could still be a little costly if they use that high end animation. If that makes any sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, but
like the animation Kina have that. I give that
right,
I give that game
right.
that the animation in that is beautiful.
Oh yeah, it looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
That's why
is.
I'm mad because those two guys,
Mhm,
and they're black guys too. As a matter of fact, there's two black dudes that they're friends.
mhm.
They used to work for Disney,
Yeah, yeah,
and they decided to go on their own, do their own studio, and did Kina. And I'm like, why would you put it on PlayStation only? It should don't make no sense.
right.
Because Sony didn't pay for the development. They didn't pay for the publishing. They just put it on the console.
Oh
And till
wow.
this day, we still didn't get the content. We still haven't gotten the game. It was supposed to be like a year exclusive only.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But it's like what I told you. I believe, because remember they put it on PC and it didn't do well either.
Mm,
So I believe it's because they didn't make enough sales and now they don't have enough money to bring it out.
yeah.
And since Sony didn't publish it, or Microsoft can't help them publish it because they're independent, they can't bring it out.
That's a real shame too, because games like I dig little games like that.
And it happened to a lot of games. Remember, Adrift happened to Adrift. It's stuck
Yeah.
on PlayStation for the same reason. It
Yeah.
happened to The Last Tinker. That's stuck on
Mm,
PlayStation for that same reason. A
mm.
lot of developers came out and said it. They're like, we couldn't bring it out to Xbox because it didn't sell.
Yeah. They need to take advantage of that Game Pass money going forward.
For real. Why do you think a lot of developers are indie developers are putting their games on Game Pass? Because of that. Because it's guaranteed money right from the hip.
Yep.
The fucked up part is if they decide to put it on PlayStation, they got the money from the Xbox fans first, which sucks, but that's why they're doing it more often.
hmm
Because on PlayStation, they don't get paid. Where are they going to put it at? On PS Plus, they could if Sony offered it, but they're not going to pay them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then with Xbox, not only have they paid out something like billions, and for games they put on Game Pass, I've seen reports of devs saying it covered their whole development costs on some of the
Yes,
games.
sir. Yes, they have. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
they have.
And so Jeremy Brown here said, "See, that's what Sony does. They buy a marketing license, then they act like the game is console exclusive, and
Hmm.
or the exclusive content is must have, or they do this: they put the only on Xbox in big letters, and then in tiny print it specifies what would be only on Xbox. So that I mean only on PlayStation. So when you're walking around,
Or first on PlayStation or console exclusive
yeah,
or
yeah,
console debut or some shit. Yeah.
yeah. So when
Well,
you walk,
look, that's another argument.
Mhm.
Like Guilty Gear Strive, it's on Game Pass. They paid them up front. The game came out on PlayStation 4 and 5, all versions, right? but they were all physical. That's when I feel that they should bring out a physical, because if you made it physical for PlayStation and you made it physical for Nintendo and you bring it out on Xbox, you got paid up front. Why not offer a physical copy or version for the Xbox fans as
Yeah.
well?
And that might be one of the few things that are Xbox fault, because from everything I've ever read, you need a certain amount of copies ordered to print on
Mhm.
Xbox, and apparently from what smaller developers have said, they just don't think it's feasible to let's say Xbox requires 10,000 copies and
Yeah, but
Nintendo and Sony
my
requires
son,
5,000.
I don't know if you know that Unlimited. My son, like a month ago, I think it was, he told me, my son Zach, that they said they were looking into allowing publishers to bring out smaller amounts of copies, like to stop that mandate.
Good,
But I know
good.
why they did that mandate, because
Why?
I know why they did that, so that people won't overcharge for the games on the aftermarket.
Oh yeah.
Because if you go look at the
Oh, that's a
aftermarket,
great point, because
you
like
fucking go and see games that were like small amounts, like especially from limited run.
yeah,
Dude, they want like $400 for the game. Like fuck you.
it's insanity.
Like who the fuck do you think you are selling that shit for $400? Fuck you.
Yeah,
And that's what Microsoft was trying to avoid. They wanted them to make enough copies that it wouldn't be in such small abundance that people can't overcharge an arm and a leg in the aftermarket, because it's not fair to the gamers.
yeah.
That's why they did that.
That actually kind of makes a lot of sense, because if
Hmm.
you try to look for games that aren't in print, and they're just small indie games that are like $5 digitally,
Yes.
$400 physically, and it's like, no, that's insanity.
Dude, there's people selling the code for the Warriors Beat 'em Up 2D side scroller on the 360 Xbox Live. Selling the code of the game for like $300. And it's just the code.
Damn.
You remember that game that they called out, the Warriors from the movie? But it was a 2D beat 'em up. I showed the demo on my channel one day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. It was called Street Brawl. They listed it. There's people selling codes for that game for like $300.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah.
Because it's delisted. But if you got the code, you could access it and own it, and you play it whenever you want.
Yeah, and that is a con of digital only games. Is the
Yes, that's the biggest con.
Yeah, and I think that's bullshit as well.
That's how we love the Transformer games, the Deadpool game. Shit.
Pretty much any Activision game that was
Yes.
we lost all of it.
Yeah, because Activision had a lot of third-party licensing from like actual properties, like cartoons and comics and shit like that. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So,
my son was telling me yesterday. He's like, yo, Zarius, to his brother. He's like, I'm seeing a bunch of 360 games that I bought for like $10. And they're starting to blow up in price. I said, because backwards compat stopped.
Yep. Not only that, I noticed a trend with retro gaming. If it's one generation back, the games are going to be cheap. So during the Xbox One years, Xbox 360 games were cheap unless it was some super rare obscure shit. Now that console's 2 generations past, the game's price skyrocket. Probably because they're harder to find or something by now. They're never
because remember, once once back compat stopped, they could no longer get the game, because remember when they were doing the back compat, you could buy it in the store digitally for $10 and $15.
Yeah, you can still buy back compat games except for a handful.
The ones that they already did, yeah. But remember when they stopped it altogether, where there's still a lot of games that they should have brought out and they couldn't? Once that stopped, that made the floodgates again to go up, because now you could only buy it on a 360 to play it on a 360. So the physical copies are the only ones available. So Forza 1, for example, right? Available physical is the only one that exists with all the content physically. So if you have the game and you want to play it, you don't have the physical, guess what? You're fucked, because it's not in the store. So you got to buy it physical, and that's why they blow it up in price.
Right.
But the only way you can play it is with the physical copy on the 360.
Right.
That's the whole reasoning for that shit.
Yeah.
And that's why Xbox mandated, physical copies. You got to do at least 50,000 or 20,000 copies. That's why.
Right. Yeah, and now that's so real. He said it's a next generation game. It's supposed to run about above 30 frames per second. Listen, do not die on that hill. Please do not die on that hill because I'm promising you guys there are going to be plenty of games that you're going to say throughout the generation should run at 60 that won't. And if you just accept, and by the way, it's getting a 60 frame patch anyway, but do not die on this frame rate hill. I'm warning you for everybody that's trying to die on that a game must run above 30. Do not die on that hill. Y'all gonna be very disappointed, especially when we get those intensive Unreal Engine 5 games. I guarantee you there are gonna be some games that we see this generation going forward that are going to be 30 frames per second, even on PlayStation, even on your precious PlayStation. So I'm telling you right now, don't die on that fucking
Well,
hill.
the whole idea, right, behind Unreal Engine 5, and that's why I tell people that a lot of that hiccups with the frame rates or resolution still exists because they're running on old engines from last gen,
Mhm.
is because the whole idea behind Unreal Engine 5.2, I think it's called now, is that it completely does all the load work of the high fidelity graphics, the high fidelity textures, and it alleviates it from the CPU and the GPU. And the GPU and CPU concentrates strictly and only on performance.
Oh,
So
okay.
you'll be able to have high fidelity density graphics, and they'll stay at a lock 60 or above. That's
I
what the whole idea of the engine was.
I hope so because I know that Matrix demo wasn't in 60 frames
No,
and
no, it was
everybody was
30.
losing
But
their
yeah,
mind.
it was 30.
Everybody
But
was
you
losing
see
their
the
mind.
but it's still running on a beta of the demo of the engine.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
but you saw
Well,
how high density it is.
still, every dev won't be able to take advantage of all the bells and whistles. So,
Right.
so I'm telling people right now, if you think games must run at higher than 30, there's going to be games
No,
that you
I
like.
think we'll still get gains because of the developer's choice,
Yeah, no,
to be
listen.
honest.
Yeah, that's why I'm warning these gamers right now. Do not die on that hill because I guarantee there's going to be a game that you're hyped for is going to be 30 frames per second, and you're still going to want to play it like how I still want to play Redfall, and people are
Right.
going to talk shit because you've been talking shit to us about this situation.
Hmm.
You don't want to die on that hill. Just trust me.
Plus, again, like I keep telling people, if you're gonna base it on that metric, then with that logic, the 360 it should have failed. Because the 360, like I said, again, had like 85, 90% games with all 30 frames. And you saw that the 360 era had a plethora of fantastic games that came out. And
Yeah.
they ran in 30 frames. That didn't deter anything. Shit, we didn't play Alan Wake at 60 frames until just now.
Yeah. Good point.
You see what I'm saying? And you
Yep.
saw that the remake failed again. Nobody went out and bought it because people don't want to pay $70, $60 just for more frame rate. That's just absurd, especially when Microsoft created smart delivery.
Hmm.
Well, you could give it to your fan base for free.
Yep.
And it
Yeah.
was the choice of the developers, and they're the ones who chose not to do it because they'd rather sell you a remaster and charge you the $70. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And the whole reason why that noise became a thing was because of fucking the sales for Crash and then the sales for Spiral. That's the only reason why. Because they did well. Because I think what Crash sold like 4 million copies, 5 million copies or some shit.
Hmm.
Being a remaster. But before then, that shit wasn't even a thing. Dude, you saw when we got Ninja Gaiden, that shit was 4K, HDR, 60
Hmm.
frames locked with just a patch when you put it on the Xbox.
Yep.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yep.
It played better than it did than the fucking remaster that came out. Because the remaster that came out was only 1080p. While we played the one we got from Black from the OG, and it was 4K.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, and no, you're spot on. Sorry, just checking the
No, I know
chat
you're reading
here.
the comments. I could tell.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, listen, I see that this now that's real dude kind of arguing. I'm not going to argue personally with you guys. That's not how I run things. You know, I don't mind dissenting opinions, but I don't argue with people. Listen, so I leave that to the chat. Y'all could teach him some, shit.
Why somebody's arguing?
Yeah, so they're arguing with now that's so real. I'm guessing he said
Oh
something.
God, that character.
You must know him.
That's the one that we had the debate. I told you that he
Ah,
always
I guess there are no PlayStation podcasts right now to watch.
probably more than likely.
Yeah.
What is he saying anyway?
Oh, he was just saying. He's the one that he's saying something about the expect games to be the best upon release. I don't know. It's nonsense. Listen, I guarantee he didn't say nothing when Horizon Forbidden West was breaking consoles and people couldn't get returns on Returnal and stuff like that. So I ain't gonna listen to him with Redfall.
Look, even games like Returnal or the remaster of Dark Souls, right? Or Demon Souls rather. Those games could have ran on the PS4 as well. Okay.
Right.
They just did that because they wanted to give the illusion that they had PlayStation 5 only games when it first was released. That's it. That's all it was. That's all it was. hmm That's why they did that. Because after that, you saw how quickly they said, "Oh, going forward, all games will be cross-gen."
Mhm.
Because their audience is still, or their biggest audience is still on PlayStation 4. Not on PS5. Plus the fact that they weren't readily available. It was like that bullshit today. I don't know if you saw it, that they started again with let's bring up sales again, right? Oh, then in Germany, UK, the PlayStation 5 is selling 400%. The Switch is only selling 18%, and Xbox is only 10%. I was like, of course, because it started to be readily available since January. They said it. They weren't able to get it. Now they can. So
Right.
that's why the people that wanted to buy it are buying it now, right?
Right.
The Microsoft Xbox with the Series X didn't have that issue over there, and neither did the Switch because the Switch been out for 5 years. The Switch is a 5-year-old console. Of course, people are not buying it in droves anymore.
Right.
Once it stops selling altogether, that's when they'll announce a new one so that they can get sales again. That's it. That's the way the Nintendo's always worked. That's the way they've always done business.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So and the thing is, they've always dominated Europe. So as long as Xbox get growths in Europe, whatever European country they were talking about the sales, that's all that matters to them is growth.
hmm
Just keep reaching more and
They've
more
had
people.
bigger growth in Europe since for now in this generation since a long time ago. But Europe has been, for whatever reason, I don't know why, they've been a very Sony centric place for a while. For whatever reason, I have no clue. I guess the European don't like to have more value for more value for their buck for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
Or they somehow think that Microsoft is the big bad wolf and is going to kill their gaming world and steal shit from them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that shit just don't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I mean,
especially that shit is more expensive over there. You would
oh,
think
that's
that
right.
something like Game Pass, would be more prevalent, right?
Mhm.
And would be a lot more appealing and for them to want to go out and buy an Xbox, right?
Yeah. I guess the PlayStation fans were right. They would still buy it with that price hike because
hmm
that's a good point.
Exactly.
I
Because they
guess I
also
was
got the
wrong
price
there.
hike. That's right.
I guess I was wrong there. Hey, everybody, unlimited production was wrong. People will buy the console just because it's more expensive. I wouldn't, but to be fair, I got my PlayStation for free. So what do I know? Excuse me.
hmm Plus,
Jeremy.
they believe everything. That's how people believe everything Digital Foundry says because they're from Europe. So if they say the games play better on PS5, that's why they get a PS5
Yeah,
because they think it's better on PS5.
yeah.
Then when that patch come out, then like, oh fuck, what happened? You know what I'm saying?
All of a sudden, Digital Foundry too busy when the patch hits.
Mm-hmm. Too busy. They can't go back and re-review shit. Oh,
Yeah,
we have too many games in our schedule, so
yeah.
we can't get to it.
Jeremy Brown said they got Jim Ryan out here crying to regulators for parity for Call of Duty because they might lose Digital Foundry comparisons. What kind of crazy fuck is
Yeah, he
that?
said that shit.
Yeah,
He's right.
I know.
I was like, the fucking nerve. That's
I
how
would,
you know that what I told you is real.
yeah.
That Digital Foundry placates to them because they know that once that happens, they can't do that.
Yeah, eh, oh God, what was I gonna say? Yeah,
No,
but
se todo proper.
about Jim Ryan and the Digital Foundry thing. Oh, now I remember. I want to see how much views Digital Foundry gets because there's no way they're getting this much views that Jim Ryan thinks they have that much influence to lose a stupid ass comparison. You know,
Well, they get the views when it's Xbox hate. Yeah, they'll get
yeah,
nice views.
they better have like 10 million views per episode or something because I ain't wasting my fucking time if the video's got like 500,000 views. No, go fuck yourself.
I don't even know if they get that much views for certain things.
Yeah,
Because I don't pay attention to them like I used to anymore for that same reason.
yeah,
You know, they
yes,
always play the knowledge using the logic card when it came to again to PlayStation and Nintendo games. They always use that logic, but when it comes to Xbox games, they want to say, "Oh, PC superior." There's no reason to get an Xbox. Que este que lo otro. Even though when the PC version comes out for the PlayStation, even though the PC version be better, they still say, "But you still have a wonderful, wonderful experience on the PlayStation 5 because it has a wonderful version as well." You understand what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly. Wilkin here said Deathloop also runs better on Xbox. Ghostwire Tokyo running better on PlayStation should be fixed, but stop the gloom and doom. Of course.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Silk Sayer said, "Oh wow, you're younger than I thought." Yeah, man, my birthday was yesterday, so I just hit 33 yesterday,
Oh,
man.
for real? Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
You delinquent. You didn't say anything. Happy birthday, dude.
Thanks. Well,
You better say it.
I'm not one of those people. You know, I try not to announce too much,
Yeah, but
but
you
I was
know,
just enjoying the day yesterday, so it wasn't even on my mind to really tell y'all, to be honest, man. So
to us,
my bad
we're
there.
bros, man. You know how it is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
See,
Yeah, I know. I was just hanging out with family. That's all. So you know,
somebody want
when
to
you're with
send you
family,
some flan for your birthday. Can't even do that.
yeah. I'll remember next time. Then I'll remember next time.
You know what I mean? No, they gotta send you some flan for your birthday now.
Yeah, man, definitely. I gotta. Apparently, your wife makes great rice, so I might have to see if y'all could send me some to Texas.
Some of that Spanish, what you call it, pastries and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Toolman here said, "I've never needed a review score to like or dislike a game because I have common
Absolutely.
sense." Yeah,
Same here, brother.
yeah. Listen, I've said it once and I'll say it again, Toolman. I've never played a game. I never played a game and liked it, and they're like, "Well, it got a 60 Metacritic, so the game still sucks."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Never,
If I play a game and like it, then to me it's a good game. Point blank simple. Nothing else about it.
never.
You know what I'm
Shit, I
saying?
remember when they gave what was it? Man, what was that game that was fantastic? But they gave it a bad review. They gave it a 1, and it was that dude that works for Giant Bomb, James, whatever his fucking name is. Oh my God! It was a game that it was the two brothers. Oh, Kane and Lynch. Kane and Lynch.
Oh yeah.
Kane and Lynch 2 was so fucking good, right?
Mm,
And that motherfucker tried to give that shit a 1.
mm.
And I'm like, what is this motherfucker smoking?
I have no clue, man. I have no clue. But that's the gaming media for you. Vodka here said, I learned about resolution from the movie Batman Mask of the Phantasm, wowed everyone at 30 frames per second. Yeah, that movie was brilliant. I love that movie. Majority of multi-platform better on Xbox. Even Foundry admitted that a while ago. While PS5 run better, it makes the news. While never makes the news an Xbox version because it's expected. It's expected. That's bullshit. Because last generation, when the PlayStation 4 was more powerful than an Xbox One, it wasn't just expected to be better. Everybody used that as ammo against Xbox in its games, even when it wasn't true. IGN lied about Call of Duty Ghosts on Xbox One and PS4. Claimed the Xbox version was 720p, the PlayStation version 1080p, and it was 720p on both. Unreal, man. Unreal. What comment would hopefully I put the right comment on screen. There are a lot of comments, six, so forgive me if I missed it. We was playing Call of Duty from 2010 and 30 frames per second. You just started playing shooters in 60 frames up until about 2021 when you bought a PS5. Cap and stop the cap. He spent 950 on the. Oh no! Oh no! Hey, what's up, 100 man? I saw your Lakers are playing. I wonder if they won. Congrats. If not, get them next time, man. My brother's a Lakers fan, so I'll probably be hearing for it when I'm done. You gotta keep your peoples grounded. Yup. I remember Far Cry 6, Hitman 3, Battlefield 2042, Resident Evil Village, Tales of Horizon, a lot more running at higher resolution or better performance on Xbox. Yep. Spot on, Wilkins. Spot fucking on. Oh shit. Damn, you asked for a link a long ass time ago. Hey, 100, if you're still there, I will send you actually it's kind of late. So I apologize, man. Your comment was from 9. Oh my goodness. I did not realize I was that behind. I apologize, 100. I just now saw this, man. Um, if you ever want to join me, 100, please hit me up on send me a message on Xbox or Twitter, somewhere where I could get that message directly and I could just send it to you that way. Because I do apologize. I'm now seeing that I could have had 100 on the fucking show. Damn it. I do too. They're the type who chase chins. Nah, he's a PC dude. I loaned him 360 for a few days. Developers spend 5 years of their life building a game for us to play, and Digital Foundry destroyed their creativity in a few minutes. That might be the best comment of the night. Hell Hydra, you might have had the best comment of the fucking night there. Because that is that's the type of poignancy I'd love to see from the chat. Yeah, games, especially a quality game, takes at minimum 3 years, probably more now these days. And for games to be ruined in minutes is insanity. Yeah, my ass was so fucking behind. I see 100 was asking for a while. Damn, dude. Yeah, 100. If you see this, man, I'm definitely gonna have to hit you up next time. I apologize. I didn't realize I was this far behind on the chat, man. I did not realize. Yeah, try to do a hangout and let's see. Remember when these dudes said Xbox has no quality games? It just means that they want to play the usual third person walking sim. Yeah, pretty much. Because that's all Sony gives them. You ever notice that one time Marion was on Game On Daily bashing PS5? He was never the same after that. Oh. Boom, Maddie Plays, Colt, Rand, and Diller are on a Bash Xbox Daily campaign out of nowhere. These dudes do not speak for the community. Yeah. Being overly negative towards video games is nonsense. And there is a difference when you have grievances. But to drag out for example, the people who are dragging out the Red False things this long, they're just being controversial for the sake of it or negative for the sake of it. Outriders was a success on Game Pass, but Square fucked over the devs and the media tried to blame Microsoft. I remember because as soon as that game hit Game Pass, they were so happy. They were so happy, Jeremy, with the results. I'm at a point now where if a game goes to every other console beside Xbox, I would not support the game. They can fuck off. Yeah, I feel as extremely, but I understand why Xbox fans would see it that way because especially when a game was already on Xbox and the next game doesn't come to Xbox, that just makes no fucking sense. I don't understand why you're not going to sell your game to millions of gamers who liked the previous one and would love the sequel. If Disney doesn't let go of Sony, Spider-Man will die. Xbox and Nintendo can make Spider-Man more money. Yep. Or it'll be like an MLB situation where they'll just make it on Xbox going forward or something. These fake Xbox YouTubers probably saw all the views they got last week from that bashing they're doing. They're making shit up this week to stretch it out. They want that revenue. Yes, they do. ABK coming home to Xbox. All those games that we named. Yep. He came here looking for some Xbox bashing. Yeah. I gotta remember. I gotta remember the clown so I don't have to give him attention because you guys be killing it, man. Yeah, 60 frame. I mean, 30 frames will always be here. I agree, Radiance, to some extent. Some devs are going to be able to knock it out the park, give you the bells and whistles on the frame rate. Others won't. And you know, and it's at the end of the day, it's just not. It's just not to me the end of the world. You know, I could understand. I could understand, like, if the Redfall devs said that okay, it's going to be 30 and 60, and then when the game released, there's only 30. I would be on your side. I would be on your side because that's lying, and lying is the one thing that's the one thing that would lose me in a heartbeat is all the fucking lying. Yeah, smart delivery is amazing. You know, smart delivery is amazing. And yeah, I don't watch PlayStation related channels either. So when they come here, it's always just hilarious to me. And then if you're gonna come here and think I'm bashing Xbox for any reason, you're talking to the wrong guy because that's not how I roll. You know, I listen. People sometimes I think people forget that you could have a negative opinion on something without bashing it. But again, some of these people are still bringing up the Redfall controversy. Some of them are still trying to bring up this. Some of them still. I've even seen people try to bring up stuff from the Xbox One generation, and we're long past that. And I just think gaming is too fucking great, right? To be that negative. Oh shit. Hey man, that's what's up, man. If I'm doing a show or something, I'll make sure to give you a shout out in June. Nah, I ain't. I ain't that old, man. I ain't as old as the rest of the family here. Yep, only in my 30s, early 30s. They lied about a lot of games frame per second resolutions. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gears gonna be a game changer. Oh, I can't wait to see Gears. Exactly. Dragging over this Redfall drama makes no sense. From Wednesday to Wednesday is wild. Yeah, man. You know, it's and then other controversies don't get dragged on nearly this long, you know. So I wait to see people still trying to bitch about it in May. And even after the patch, there's gonna be people saying, "Oh, but it didn't release with it," like anybody cares after the fact. I bought the Redfall upgrade pack as well, Tool Man, and I can't wait to add that bad boy to my collection. With that said, unfortunately, my brother Hebot dropped. I finally caught up with the chat. Unfortunately, I missed my brother 100 about an hour ago. I do apologize there, but the chat guys, you were spectacular tonight, and I try to get to as many comments as possible because I love hanging out with you guys. I love interacting with you guys. I love the comments. You know, I just love every single thing you guys bring to the table. You guys are all excellent, just fantastic. Even someone like that Balzion guy who does feel like a second class citizen. I'd like to hear his reasoning. You know, he seemed because he's been here and he's cool dude and cool dude that if she's a woman because I made that mistake before. So yeah, but anyways, guys, I'm going to call it a night. It is extremely late. I thank everyone for watching. You guys have a great rest of the week. Have a great man. It was a great hangout, Tool Man. Have a great rest of the week to Tool Man, Jeremy Brown, Dank Fountain, Jay, Shane G, Vodka, Radiance, Six Layer, and everybody else who stopped by. I have no clue how Sega Man be naming people off so easily. But everybody, enjoy the rest of your week, and I am out.